mia via, domina nada vidomi rad, gotovia pio, dovavio, ja pilomina do gabivo. Pilomina do Gabiwo. Ja Midowin, ja Bogawin, Domina ja Midowina to. Ja Midowin, ja Bogawin, Domina ja Midowina to. Ja Midowia, Domia Wido, ja Midowina, Domia Wido. Domina nada vidovira, Gotovia pio, Novavio, ja Pilomina do Gabivo. Ja Bogawin, Domina ja Midowina to. Ja Midowin, ja Bogawin, Domina ja Midowina to. Ja Midowia, Domia Wido, ja Midowina, Domia Wido. Domina nada vidovira, Gotovia pio, Novavio, ja Pilomina do Gabivo.
Here we go. Hello, what is there? Welcome back to the channel. This is a fantastic day, night, morning. Hope you're having a welcome to Detachment Discussions with Mouth, which if he's ready, I can go ahead and get him on. My intro is in the middle of an ad break, but it said my intro. The ad break just ended. Oh, okay. So next time I'll remember to wait a little bit. Okay. My ad break's been a little weird. Yeah, anyways. All right. Mouth, if you're ready, let's just go ahead and get into this call. Because, ladies and gentlemen, what we're going to be doing today. Yes, go right ahead and go right on ahead. Ladies and gentlemen, what we are doing today is we are going over detachments from Grotmas. Now I need to go head on over to my area. Hello? One second, y'all. Apparently my... Oh my god. Hello? No, I can't unless... Hold on. Can you hear me? Ladies and gentlemen, technical difficulties. Trying to work them out. Hmm. Trying to find where I can turn you up on my side. 'Cause I can see you talking. But I can't quite hear you. I turned you up. Try talking again. Okay, nothing. Are you muted? Hmm. Try going into the game voice. Huh. Well, this is awkward. Huh. No, it shouldn't be. Wait, hold on. Try now. Huh. Okay, nothing. Still nothing. Okay, all good. Ladies and gentlemen, we are doing some technical difficulties. Try that again. I thought I heard something. Okay, go for it. No, I didn't hear anything. Oh, dear God. Okay, Discord, let's... Hmm. Okay, so we're having some technical difficulties. Why must we have technical difficulties? Testing. Hello? Okay. There's that. That works. Okay, so I don't need to go testing 1, 2, 3 every time you change something. I have set my phone to play a funny song next to my microphone. And that way you'll know when you got it. Hmm. Hmm. Try now. Oh. Hmm. This is slightly awkward chat. Do you want to just try this through Steam? We could try that. And then work on this stuff later. Oh, okay. All right, never mind then. We shall not do that. All good. All good. All good. Um, there's that. Nope, no victory yet. You know what? Let me try something. No, that didn't work out. Try rebooting Discord? Okay. Okay, can you hear me through Discord? Hmm. Aw. Weird. Okay, I just turned it all the way up to max. Apparently that wasn't it. That back down. Oh, I hear
Oh,
something.
do you hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh. Okay, so it turns out the music I was using to test if you could hear me or not was like way too quiet for you to actually hear, and that was half the issue. Because I just checked, and I like okay, I was like, okay, I'm gonna check just to see like how audible this is on my end. And I checked, and it was barely coming through the microphone, but it was just coming through enough for it to show as green. So I just assumed that everything sounded okay when it didn't.
Ah.
All right, that was half my fault. Oh well.
Well, how are you doing, Mouth?
I'm doing pretty good.
All right, all right. So, good, big question. Have you done your homework?
I've done enough of my homework to be confident about most of my thoughts on this. There's still a bit I'm unsure about, but that will require me to like actually like play some of those armies multiple times over and like understand like their actual like game plans to a strong enough degree for me to say something about it. And I'm sorry, I'm not playing. I'm not summoning my friends to make me play 3 matches as Eldari.
Right. Yeah. No, you're good. You're good. Don't worry because I haven't done much homework either.
All right. So what order do we want to do this in? You want to start with the first one and go from there? Or you want to do like
let's go release date.
All right, so let's start off with Death Guard.
Yes, Death Guard. All right. 1 second, y'all. Now that we have Mouth into the call and we can start doing our thing, let's go ahead and get ourselves onto talking about some detachments, shall we? All right. So as we said, we're going to be going over this and out in release date order and we're going to start with Death Guard. So let me go ahead. I do have both the Grotmas Detachment page opened up and Wahopedia opened up. So
I've got that as well, just so I can like check up on units to see like how X thing would interact with Y potentially.
yes. All right.
Or like unit specifically named. All right,
All right.
so Mind Blown Host.
Yep. All right. So units from your army that are not embarked within transport have the Scout 5 and Stealth ability. To me, that already sounds amazing.
In a vacuum, that's a very good effect, especially for Death Guard, since they're so slow. Getting out there is really good, and the stealth makes them even tankier, which, to be fair, that's an identity they've struggled a bit with this edition. They're not as tanky as they would like to be. But the stealth definitely helps with that. Stealth is very powerful against a lot of armies.
Oh, yes, definitely.
But there is one core main issue with this detachment, and it has nothing to do with this detachment, rather the other one. And it's that Plague Company is necessary for this faction to have rules. Nurgle's Gift on its own is not a rule that does very much.
Okay, and that's if you're
Kind of
army.
just play in data sheets if you don't have Plague Company, because that actually gives you an army rule that does things.
All right, so I had the Nurgle's Gift up here. If your army faction is Death Guard, while an enemy unit is within contagion range of this unit, subtract 1 for the toughness characteristics of the models of that unit. And then
The ranges aren't very big, and you're not very fast, so a -1 toughness for all that work is not good.
all right, and you said Plague Company?
Yeah, that is the other detachment they have. They only have the two.
Oh, right. Okay, here we are.
I recommend for Wahapedia going into the settings and turning off the boarding action rules, because that's for a wholly different game mode that we're not talking about.
How do I do that?
You just hover over the gear next to the button that says the rules, and then you click on Show Boarding Action Rules and disable it.
Oh, okay. Boop. Okay, done.
Boarding action, I'm sure it's fun. I want to try it at some point, but it has nothing to do with what we're talking about.
Nope. All right, so
And it's
during
really
the
comfy.
during the declare battle formation step, select one of the sicknesses below until the end of the battle. All units from your army with a Nurgle's Gift ability gain the selected sickness. So worsening ballistics, ballistic and weapon skills, worsening save skills, or worsening leadership and objective control.
And additionally, you have sticky objectives, and your stickies get Nurgle's Gift as well.
Really? Oh wow. Okay. Oh, if you control
Yeah.
the detector marks at the end of your command, that is said to be infected and remains under control. Oh, okay, cool.
But the issue here is now, so originally all this was just sticky objectives with all this was the bottom paragraph, and Death Guard were one of the weakest armies in the game. So Games Workshop buffed them by giving them this, the option for the 3 different effects on their auras. But when they buff that, since they buff them with the detachment, that means that using another detachment, you don't have that buff anymore. So you're a lot worse off without this. Stealth in Scouts 5 is really good, but
Oh, okay.
but you could also just have a -1 ballistics or weapon skill in 9 inches around, or like not 9 inches, so like within a range around you, or a -1 to save on your melee guys. Since especially that's just like essentially adding 1 AP to like your Death Shroud Terminators.
Oh, okay. So so in the
I
end,
mean, no one's taking the leadership. I guess the objective control could come up since you don't have that many models ideally, but like, how many points are Plague Marines again? 125 for 7. Okay, that's still not that many.
no, that's that's not bad.
I guess you could technically still theoretically take that with like a Poxwalker spam list and just try and like drown your opponent in zombies. That would be funny, but that's not practical. Because you can run like 60 Poxwalkers for 300 points.
Yeah, that's that's like me
You
running a bunch of
do that. You can. You are allowed to.
yeah, and it's like me running a bunch of hormigons all up the field.
The difference is though that you're actually supposed to be doing that. That's like one part of your army's aspect with Tyranids is that you can play the Horde. Death Guard aren't supposed to be doing that.
No, they're not a horde.
No one's signing up to Death Guard so they can play 60 Poxwalkers.
that would.
Well, I'm sure there's like one guy out there who's just like an absolute maniac and was like, dude, I want to play 60 Poxwalkers.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
that's not like that's not what most people are here for. They're here for your Plague Marines. They're here for your Demon Engines, which, by the way, random side note, I find it really funny that Death Guard are the only God-aligned Chaos Legion that have their own Demon Engine models.
Wait, really?
Yeah, the only tanks in Tzeentch and Khorne are stolen from Chaos Space Marines.
Oh.
And that does include Demon Engines, but they don't have their own unique ones. Tzeentch
Oh,
also
okay.
gets the Needleth Vortex Beast from Age of Sigmar as a unit, but that's not a Demon Engine, that's just a thing. It's not even a demon. I don't know what it is.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, Death Guard. Well, Death Guard. They have the Bloat Drone, the Blight Hauler, and those are demon engines. But no one else has demon engines
So that's
aside from the generic ones like the Forge Fiend.
that's interesting.
Yeah. Anyways, back on topic. Yeah, I think that this attachment is not necessarily a bad idea. I think it is not. It's again, all of my issues with this attachment are that it's not the other detachment, and that's a problem that the other detachment has, where the buff to the auras should have been put into the army rule, not the detachment, because that just means that you have to play that detachment to play Death Guard now.
Ah, okay. Yeah, that does kind of suck.
Otherwise, like enhancements wise, Rejuvenating Swarm is Droning Chorus is pretty good for like a shooty unit because then you can run and then still shoot, which is good on an army that is Death Guard where everyone is slow.
Oh yeah, that would be good.
Insectile Murmuration is good for like melee. Like you could put that in like a Terminator leader, put that with some Death Shroud.
Would
Death
so
Shroud
is
that
Death
could do good damage.
so is Death Guard more of a shooty unit or is it more of a melee unit?
They can do both pretty well, but I believe they lean more melee.
Hmm.
Like the Death Shroud Terminators, you get 3 of them for 110 points, or 6 of them for 220. And they've got like a strike and sweep profile that's either 4 attacks, 2 up, 8 strength, 2 AP, 2 damage, or 6 attacks, 2 up, 5 strength, 0 AP, 1 damage. And whenever they're being led, they have that one thing that Custodian Wardens or like Votan Hearthguard have, where if you get shot by something that's stronger strength than you are toughness, they have a -1 to wound you anyway.
Oh.
Yeah, Death Shroud Terminators are very tanky.
They,
They've
yeah.
got
I don't
They're
think
literally as tanky as Custodian Wardens, actually. I'm looking at it right now. This is the exact same stat line as Custodian Wardens are for durability.
Wow.
3 wounds, 2 up save, 4 up invul, toughness 6, silent bodyguard is that same effect.
Yeah,
It's
I
the
don't.
same thing. They're just
Yeah,
not
when I fought Void, I played against Void. I don't think he played any Terminators. I think it was mostly like regular infantry and poxwalkers.
Mm.
And
Did you see anyone with size? Because those are the ones that are like the Terminators for Death Guard.
No, so probably not.
Okay. I know a lot of people really like the Terminator design for Death Guard. Like that's like one of the selling point models for a lot of people.
They do look really cool.
They do. So I do dislike size on principle of them not really being weapons, but that's just a me thing.
Gotcha. Yeah. Now for stratagems.
So you select one Death Guard infantry unit in the fight phase as within engagement range can make the enemy unit within engagement range of them take a battle shock test with -1 to the result. Who cares?
Yeah, the only army that's
Battle
really
shock.
yeah, the only army that's really caring about that is Tyranids. And that's like that's their
It's more
thing.
just the fact that you can get so many off for like free that it might come up. Demons care about it because they can do mortals to people who fail battle shock tests in in areas they control, and if
Oh,
they
right.
succeed battle shock tests, they heal. But that's about it.
Yeah. Yeah. And Tyranids
Vermin
themselves.
Cloud, that 6-inch count and consolidate could be very big.
Yes.
Just considering that's like faster than you walk.
That's very true.
It's funny because I play Age of Sigmar, and in Age of Sigmar, everything is like 1 inch slower. So looking at Death Guard, they don't even feel that slow. But
No.
they are like notably slow for this game because they're 5 inches. That's slow.
Let's
I have
see.
Swarm, so you can give every gun the pistol keyword in the shooting phase. So you can use that if you're like in engagement range, because like Plague Marine's like a split unit. They can get both melee and guns. So I guess the idea with that is you charge them with your Plague Marines, your enemy is still alive, so you use a stratagem on them, and now you can fire like your Plague Bolt guns or like your Plague Spewer in engagement range.
Then I have a question. Because you have to choose in the regular shooting phase, you have to choose between pistols and your main guns.
Yes, but if every gun's a pistol, yes, you just get to shoot all your guns.
Okay, that was my question. So that's not a bad stratagem.
Indeed. Yeah, especially considering again, Plague Marines so it's not even a case of like, oh yeah, you can split it. It's a case of like, for one, they all have decent melee profiles, even if you don't give them a proper melee weapon. But you can like, unless you just leave some guys with bolt guns, you will have some models with guns and some models with melee as the thing they leave. So this is letting you use both, which I think is neat, but I'm not sure how much it should matter. But it is definitely useful, considering you can get a melt on them.
Yeah,
And like,
Melt in
engagement range
range.
is in fact melter range.
It's like, ha 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 ha, you fell right into my trap. Here's a melted to the face.
Though I do like their flamethrower that's anti-infantry 2 up, so it's basically guaranteed to work.
Oh, wow. Oh, I do have a question about
all of their
shooting
weapons
in...
have lethal hits because they're infected, but you
Oh,
can't give
God.
lethal hits to a flamethrower,
Oh.
so they had to give it anti-infantry instead.
Yeah. Oh, I do have a question about like shooting in combat with pistols. I keep forgetting, like, is that one of those? Do you still have to take the -1 to hit? -1 to
No,
hit?
it's just tanks.
It's
That's
just
only tanks.
okay.
Because pistols are inherently worse guns, so that's the trade-off is you're fighting with a pistol instead of proper firearms. But with a
Ah, okay,
stratagem,
gotcha.
everything's a pistol, so it doesn't matter. Yeah, that is a neat little stratagem. There's Droning Horror, where you, in your shooting phase, you just give a unit rerolls to hit of 1, and if that unit's in half range of the guns, you get the full hit roll to reroll. I guess you could... I don't believe there's any rules about using 2 stratagems at the same time on 1 unit, so I guess you could...
Nope.
And Eye of the Storm to technically have everything be in half range.
No,
It's obviously silly, but you could.
I did double stratagems on 1 unit a lot with Adeptus Sororitas. With the Army of Faith, I would use Divine Guidance for the +1 AP, or minus the extra AP, and Faith and Fury whenever I charged. To give them...
Because I was also thinking of Age of Sigmar, where you can only have 1 command used on you per phase, or at least that's how it was in 3rd edition.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh.
The AOS commands are very different from commands in 40k. You get a lot of amount of command points at the start of the round, and you don't keep them between rounds.
Oh.
Additionally, armies don't have their own commands. Some might have like a 1 effect or 2, but you don't have like 6 commands that you have to all use like you do with 40k stratagems. You are mostly just working with what is there at base.
Okay. Didn't 9th edition give you like a bunch...
unique ones? Yeah, 9th edition, if I go get my 9th edition Custodians Codex, there is like 4 pages of stratagems, and half of them work on 1 unit each. It's funny. Some of them you use before the game.
Yeah, I know very little about 9th editions. Like, there's a couple things here and there that I know. Didn't you also have like a lot more command points?
Yeah, you got like 6 at the start of a battle, I believe, and
6?
in, like the last yeah. Remember, you can also spend them before the battle to do things. I know in like the last version of the match play rules, which was, I forget what it's called. Yeah, no, I can't remember its name. But in the last version of the match play rules, if you wanted to get a warlord trait or a artifact, which were like the enhancements of that game, you got 1 of each normally. You had to spend CP for that, so I guess you only really started like, but still.
Good.
You also had less than lower point battles.
Would have been nice to have like at least one, have a little extra command
Enhancements
points.
were a lot more unique in 9th edition. Also, some of them replaced certain weapons for like artifacts. Like you get a gun, like you can only use it on a unit that had that gun, and it'd be a better version.
Oh, okay.
And there's also both warlord traits, which you would give to whoever you marked as your general. That was why that whole like warlord thing is there. Because in this edition, it doesn't do anything really. And then you also had an artifact that you could give to any other hero.
Hmm.
Ninth edition had very, very interesting list building, and I honestly don't fight as intense because there's a lot going on with ninth. Some people are happy it's simpler. I'm not, but I'm also the kind of person that likes sitting there making a list for 3 hours. So
That's me with characters.
yeah, no, you got to do a lot with character customization in ninth, especially once if you were playing like a caster, because then you also got to pick your spell. Like you could like put a warlord trait and an artifact and a spell on a character and just make your own unique little guy. It was fun. That was how that was why Thousand Suns didn't feel repetitive, even though they have like 8 units.
Hmm.
All right.
All right,
I
so
think we've really said that all there is to be said for this. Like, there's a few other stratagems, but they're not major. One of them is just like a side grade to grenades, kind of, and another one is just defense for a. One of them is just giving like that effect that the Terminators have on like another unit, so long as you're any color, which is a strange effect.
Okay.
Overall, I think we've said all there is. It's just a
Okay.
case of this seems neat. Your other detachment is where all your rules are, so you don't care. All right. So moving on to Dark Angels. All right, and I would like you to read out this detachment rule.
All right, 1 second. Let me get the Wahapedia all set up. Oh, there he goes. Because wait, hold on. Is there a specific Dark Angels list? Nope. Okay.
You can click on
Oh,
chapter
here it is.
and hit Dark
Found
Angels.
it. Found it. Doop.
You don't want to filter by Ultramarines because then you wouldn't see all the Dark Angels.
Yes, that would explain a lot. Anyways, okay, the Lion's Claw. Each time an enemy unit, excluding monsters and vehicles, within a given range of one or more Raven Wing units from your army falls back, all models in that enemy unit must take a desperate escape test. When doing so, if the enemy... Okay, I need to reread that. I might want it a little fast. Each time an enemy unit within engaged range of a Raven Wing unit falls back, must be... Okay, so it doesn't even need a... They don't even be battle shocked. Okay. When doing so, if that enemy unit is battle shocked, subtract 1 from each of those tests. And Desperate Breakout, it's on a 1 and 2?
I believe so, yes.
Okay. Each time a
I'll
Deathwing...
double check real quick while you read the other one.
Yep. Each time a Deathwing unit from your army declares a charge, if one or more targets of that charge are within an engagement range of one or more Ravenwing units from your army, add 2 to the charge roll.
And yes, it is a 1 and 2, so it would be a 50-50 to see your model destroyed instead.
That's not bad.
All right. Now, I'd like you to... So, both of these require your Ravenwing units to have charged in on enemies, correct?
Yes.
Now, if we look at the Ravenwing keyword, how many models... how many Ravenwing units exist that actually want to charge? 2.
Oh dear God.
The Outriders and the Black Knights. And that's it.
All right. Let me find Ravenwing.
You can just click on the Ravenwing command squad and then hover over the Ravenwing keyword at the bottom of Wahapedia to see what all there is.
Oh dear God. I am not used to Wahapedia. It's all the way at the bottom?
It's where all like the keywords are, like the underlined things. So scroll up.
Okay.
No, like on a unit. So you click on a unit, and then you can see what keywords they have. So like go to the top left where it says data sheets, hover over it, and then scroll down to Ravenwing command squad.
Oh. Oh,
Or if you go to data sheets collated too. That loads up every single data sheet though, so that might take a while.
Okay.
Because Space Marines have about 50.
Or a
Anyways,
lot.
to sum it up, a lot of Ravenwing units are Storm Speeders, which are things that don't really want to charge because all they have is an armored hull or like a close combat weapon. They have gunships, which literally cannot charge because they are aircraft, and aircraft cannot charge. Or they have. Okay, some of them do have melee. Those are Outriders and Black Knights. And admittedly, Outriders did get buffed after this detachment came out. In like the data slate, they got a big, their rules were reworked entirely. They used to have a completely different rule. I believe it involved like going over models or something. Or that may have just been mine. But they used to have some. I think it was something to do with advancing, and it didn't matter. You never used it. So now it's if they charge, they get +1 strength and +1 damage. So originally, when this attachment released, it was completely worthless because Outrider melee was still not that good. So you really only charged in with Black Knights, and like their melee is okay, but it's one unit.
Okay.
But
And
now Outrider melee is like actually pretty decent. Because like it's still close combo weapons, but it's 5 strength, 3 up, 5 attacks, 0 AP, 2 damage, and that's not that bad. So I could see you doing this and getting value out of that Deathwing thing. Because like your Ravenwing units are fast, your Deathwing units aren't. Ravenwing still isn't really good though. I think for like a fluffy Dark Angels player, if you wanted to go multi-wing, this would be your way to do it. But otherwise, like this will never see like any like play from someone who wants to play like a list, because the rules are awkward. They like the Desperate Escape effect thing is okay, but like it's just dudes on bikes and they're not that tanky.
1 second. Quinny, yes, I am. We are going over to all the Grotmas detachments and learning a lot of 40k while I'm at it. So, yeah. Welcome to the channel, buddy. Okay, sorry about that.
Yeah, it's just like a. I mean, I guess they are kind of tanky. Toughness 5, 3 up save, 4 wounds per bag. But like either way, if you've been charged by them, falling back shouldn't be like that big of a problem. The Desperate Escape thing, like you usually shouldn't need to fall back against these guys anyway. But considering like most of the damage they did on when they charged in, and afterwards doesn't really matter anymore. So that effect doesn't matter. The +2 to charge does help a lot for Deathwing, because Deathwing are mostly Terminators, and Terminators deep strike in at 9 inches. So now they basically need to charge for 7 inches instead, because they get the +2 there, which is a big difference. But I still don't think that's like enough of a boost to justify doing this overall. Like you could get a consistent charging with 1 unit if you got both like that 7-up and like a CP reroll to guarantee that charge. But otherwise, I just don't think this really will come up. I'm not sure like that's that useful of an effect, aside from getting in 1 squad of Terminators. If you really wanted to like go like Ravenwing balling with a lot of like bikers and some storm speeders, they have their own attachment for that already. I don't remember what it's called. Let me just check.
Basically, if you're going to want to make a detachment about specific units, make it worthwhile.
Yeah. So the one that they would normally have for Ravenwing is your models can shoot if they advanced or fell back, and mounted units can shoot and charge if they advanced or fell back. Which, hilariously, that difference still doesn't matter for most Ravenwing models, but whatever.
Oh, wow.
Oh, it also makes Outriders battle line.
Oh, that's not bad. That's nice.
If you run 60 Outriders, not 60, 30 Outriders, then yeah, sure. So 36. I can count.
Sounds more like
If
a
you run
white.
36 Outriders, that's sure. That works. Or even just like 24.
That sounds more like a white scars detachment.
Yeah. So the thing with Dark Angels is that they're not Codex compliant. They have multiple wings of it. They're not just like 10,000 Space Marines or whatever. No, it's 1,000 Space Marines. Not like 1,000 Space Marine chapter like all the other ones are. Any of like the non-Codex compliant chapters, they don't listen to the codex, they have like this is basically the size of the Space Marine Legion still, from my understanding. So they have several wings, and one of the wings is in fact just people who ride around on bikes and storm speeders, even though that's White Star's thing.
Huh.
Apparently, there's like several different wings that aren't even included in this. Just that they only really represent like the main three. And even then, they basically didn't really represent the main three because the Unforgiven Task Force is so bad that you're never going to play the Green Wing one.
Well, all right. So, for the enhancements, there's a couple of them that are pretty good.
Yeah. +1 damage on melee. I mean, that's pretty good. Chaplain with bike. Because Chaplain's a good melee, I'm pretty sure. Let me check the Chaplain stat line again. Yeah, it's already 2 damage. You can get 3 damage on that guy. And I'm just remembering that this game isn't Sigmar and there isn't damage overflow, so that's not that impressive, actually, but still.
Oh. Hey, they'll still kill him. Still kill a single marine.
Oh, I already did, too. But it'll kill a Custodian.
Hey, there you go.
Ravenwing gets to shoot and declare charge in a turn in which it fell back, and you get to reroll desperate escape attempts.
That's pretty. All right.
This is very, very, very good because, as we've established, Outriders are best in melee on the turn they charged in.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Plus, they have guns and like not bad guns either. I'm pretty sure. Let me double check. Yeah, they've got a onslaught Gatling cannon. They all have twin bolt rifles. Yeah, that's pretty decent shooting. So you can charge in, melee them, fall back, shoot, and like on the next turn, finish them off, and then charge in on a new thing and melee that. So that's really useful, actually. Captain, Chaplain, or Lieutenant. If the bearer's unit is not battle shocked, they get +1 OC. Sure. Okay. And then Deathwing model, so that's Terminator stuff. Once for battle, at the end of your opponent's turn, if the bearer's unit is not within engagement range of one or more enemy units, the bearer can use enhancement to go back into deep strike. That's really good. That's a very powerful thing. It's like one of Thousand Sun's biggest strengths right now, I'm pretty sure, is that they have a teleport thing as one of their enhancements. And this is just that. So yeah, just getting to deep strike again is really good. You teleport in, you kill something, you leave, you teleport in again and do an objective or something. That's huge.
Yeah, that sounds annoying to deal with.
All right, enhancement stratagems wise.
Hey, the Armor of Contempt! Haha!
Armor of Contempt, that's always there. I'm not going to acknowledge it because everyone has it.
Yeah.
Overpowering Exaction. You use it in either the command phase or the start of the fight phase, and you get to make an enemy unit do a battle shock test. You can only use this stratagem once per battle round. Okay. Also, if they were near a Deathwing or Ravenwing unit, they have a -1. I think the intent of this is to make them do the fallback thing. Or to like capitalize on something that you have that might do more to battle shock units. I can't think of a single thing in Space Marines that does that. So I don't know why you do this in the fight phase, because they're just going to recover in their command phase.
But it does say command phase in general, not your command phase or your opponent's. It just says command phase.
True. You can use this in either. Yeah, overall, this isn't good. This is really bad. Battle shock sucks.
yeah, it does. You have to really be going ham on the battle shock stuff in order for it
Knights
to
of Iron, you can make a Ravenwing unit phase through walls. In your movement phase, your charge phase. That's pretty good. You can't make it phase through walls vertically. That would be funny, though. Armor of Contempt always exists. Eliminating fire. So you shoot a unit, and then mark that unit to get +1 to wound against Deathwing shooting. Sure, okay. I'm not sure how much good shooting Deathwing units have. A lot of them are melee. Like, Deathwing Knights, for example. I don't even think they have guns. They don't.
Yeah, they got guns. Or possibly.
No, Deathwing Knights don't.
Oh, Deathwing Knights.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Deathwing. Dreadnoughts are also Deathwing. I didn't realize that. Okay, that changes a lot. Because then you can just like plink away with like some random Outrider squad against like their Land Raider, and then the Redemptor Dreadnought pulls up, and now it has a +1 to wound with like its everything, including its Macroplasma Incinerator. So yeah, no, that's pretty good then. I thought it was just Terminators, and I'm gonna be honest, I completely assumed it was just trash.
Well, that might be decent.
Terminators have okay guns, but like they're not good enough to justify using a CP to get +1 to wound with my Storm Bolters. But, doing that for Dreadnoughts as well, that's really good. Strength and Unity. Oh, mucho texto.
That's a
Alright.
lot. Okay, if that enemy unit is within gauge range of one of the more Raven Wings units from your army until the end of the phase, each time a model of that enemy unit makes an attack, subtract 1 from the hit roll. That's nice. If that enemy unit is within gauge range of one or more Deathwing units from your army until the end of the phase, units from your army until the end of the phase, each time the model of the enemy unit makes an attack, if the strength characteristic of that attack is greater than the toughness characteristic of the target, subtract 1 from the wound roll.
Okay. So a few things. Okay, so the way this is worded, it doesn't carry through the phase, because I know some stratagems that are defensive that aren't Armor of Contempt still carry through the phase because of weird wording. Because they only nerfed Armor of Contempt type stratagems and not other ones that are still defensive but not Armor of Contempt. But this only works for that one enemy attacks.
Yeah.
So this is like a defensive option that's not Armor of Contempt that does a different thing for Ravenwing or Deathwing units. And if they're in an engagement range with both, which if you're using your Deathwing roaming rule you are, then both apply and have -1 to hit and probably a -1 to wound. And if they didn't have a -1 to wound, they're winning on 5s anyway, probably. So yeah, this is theoretically pretty good if you have both an engagement. I'm not sure how much you'd need both Knights and Outriders to be on the same thing realistically, but I guess if you wanted your Knights to get in on something, and you could use the Outriders to help. But like that's the other issue, like the main part of the rule, detachment rule is just like, do I really need 2 units focusing down 1 unit? And it's like a big thing that I shouldn't be using Outriders to fight anyway. Anyways, I'm not sure how much you're going to be using this over Armor of Contempt. It only works in the fight phase too, so you can't use it to defend against shooting. So if you're fighting Tau, this does nothing. But otherwise, it's fine.
All right.
And then
well,
finally, at the end of your opponent's charge phase for 2 CP, you can charge with a Deathwing Infantry or Walker unit that is within 6 inches of another unit. Though, even if you do succeed the charge, you don't get the fights first from charging. It's pretty good. Overall, this was better than it was before because of the Outrider buff. I think with the enhancements and the stratagems are honestly pretty solid overall. I just don't the detachment rule. I still don't think it's very strong. But I think you could get something together with this list to be pretty with a list with this to be pretty usable at the very least and have fun with it. I don't think this is going to be taking any tournaments or anything. But it's fine if it doesn't. It's fun. And at the very least, there's going to be fluffy, there's going to be some middle-aged Midwestern dad who loves Dark Angels lore and wants to play fluffy Dark Angels lists, and he's going to love this because it lets him play both Ravenwing and Deathwing in tandem or something. Yeah. And power to that guy. You know what? Power to him. So yeah,
so more fluffy than competitive.
Yeah. But it does have some sauce to it with its enhancements and with the Outrider buff that recently happened. Before the Outrider buff, I would have just called this bad because you didn't have good Ravenwing units. Because a lot of even if you ignore the fact that you're supposed to charge this, from my understanding, a lot of Ravenwing units just aren't that good. People aren't not running Storm Speeders because other things are better. People aren't running Storm Speeders because they're fine. You could just be doing better with your points. Yeah. I try to contradict myself, but they're just not that good. There's a lot of better things you could be running.
Yeah. All right, moving on then.
Yeah,
'Cause
I'm
I
sick
think
of looking at Space Marines. I'm going to have to look at Space Marines more times today. Tyranids.
Yay, Tyranids! Alright, so this
Warrior in
in
their bio form.
yep, this one is more or less around Tyranid Warriors and Winged Tyranid Prime. Now, this isn't I will say this isn't a bad detachment. It might actually have some legs. Primarily the fact that it actually well, it because a lot of their stuff, though it is slightly Tyranid Warrior targeting, there are definitely still some enhancements and stratagems that don't specifically target Tyranid Warriors that buff them out. So essentially, all right. So Tyranid Warriors and Wing Prime get get units have a +5 invulnerable save. So
Am I crazy? Wasn't there a regular Tyranid Prime originally?
yes, there are regular Tyranid Primes within the Tyranid Warrior units. You can build them as such.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
I thought it was its own thing.
From what I understand, that's well, it's always been. I think I don't know if you actually need a Prime in the unit, but I think that's kind of how it's
Yeah, it's
actually.
just like the equivalent of like a Space Marine Sergeant. I thought that
Yeah.
there was a Winged Tyranid Prime and then a Tyranid Prime character, the same way as with the Hive Tyrant, with the Prime just being a worse
Oh,
version.
yes. There's the regular winged Tyranid Prime character. Other than that, there is no.
Yeah, I knew about the Winged Tyranid Prime. I thought there was
Yeah.
a regular one too. So that's why I was confused as why this one didn't include that, not realizing that it doesn't exist.
Yeah, no, it's just a sergeant basically.
Silly me.
Yep, and it's pretty much basically be like, okay, I'm here. I'm just gonna substitute this regular warrior as a Tyranid Prime because I didn't have a second one. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
But anyways, a lot of
Cool.
their enhancements, the enhancements I actually really do like. The one I'm slightly not sure about is the Synaptic Tyrant, which is Nero Tyrant only and allows them to lead warriors.
Yeah, I don't know why you'd want to.
Like for it,
I mean, I guess they get a +1 to hit, but they already hit on.
they hit on
Okay,
threes.
3 to 4s. Like I guess that works.
Yeah,
You could give them. You could attach them to a range unit.
and then they can hit on threes.
Yeah.
There is a stratagem for Tyranid ranged warriors, which basically allows them to ignore cover,
Mhm.
and they can no longer benefit from cover from that shooting. But you've already got that's nice if you want to stay at a range, but you already have your pyrovores, which you can just kind of go in and do the same thing, just like what an immolator can.
I will say, I think the 5-up invul and the OC3 on the Warriors is a pretty big buff overall.
It is a very big buff.
Here. Because Tyranid Warriors, like, they're already T5, 3
Yep.
wounds, 4-up save. That's not half bad, considering they're pretty cheap. They're 75 points per 3 for melee.
Yeah.
And they're 10 points cheaper per 3 for range.
Yep. So yeah, you could actually just one thing nice about the range warriors is I think you hit on 4s. Let me double check that when you're firing in Overwatch.
That is a different unit. That is Hive Guard. Yeah,
That's Hive Guard. Yeah, that's Hive Guard. Never mind. Ignore what I said. I'm getting
But
units
also
mixed
notably
up.
with ranged warriors, they don't have bad melee. They just have worse than melee warriors.
Yes.
You can shoot and then still charge these guys, and they still have 5 attack, 3 up, 5 strength, 1 AP, 1 damage.
That is still really nice. So,
Yeah.
So
it's just that you'd have 1 more attack, 1 more AP, and Twin Link to melee, and a reroll hit rolls of 1 or saving throws of 1.
So a lot of times you're still going to end up choosing you're choosing the melee warriors over the ranged.
But you can run both in a list comfortably. Like, obviously, with this list, you're going to be running a lot of. That's kind of like the entire thing.
Yeah, you're probably running.
Most of your list is them, honestly. Let's be real. They made 2 different units battle line. They're expecting you to run an obscene amount. In fact, I think the biggest weakness of the detachment is that you need to own an obscene amount of warriors that probably isn't a legal amount to ever before in this point.
No, and
aside from back when Warhammer didn't have a cap on how many units can be fielded at once.
oh, right, yeah.
Rule of 3 didn't exist until late in the 9th edition, I believe. Before that, you could just run as many units as you wanted. But then that was changed after people were showing up to tournaments with like 7 winged Hive Tyrants because that was just the best thing to run.
Oh, Jesus. I'm not sure how much I would like that.
Yeah, so they added a rule of 3 to make it so you can only have 3 of a unit. And then with Battle Line, you can have 6. I think that's a specifically this edition thing, maybe, but
yes, I think
this is so they're basically saying, hey, if you owned like
a lot of Hive Tyrants, now you're kind of screwed.
50 warriors before this, run 50 warriors. You will not regret putting 50 warriors on the table.
No, you will not.
And to be fair, with this attachment, you might not. It's just that you need to own 50 warriors.
Pretty much, yeah. All right, so like for the enhancement, the ocular adaptation, each time it only a prime.
Yep.
Models and abilities wanted add 1 to the hit roll.
As far as I'm aware, Tyranid Prime is like one of the only things that can lead yeah, the only thing that can lead your warriors outside of the Neuroton with that one enhancement is the Winged Tyranid Prime. So these are basically all things leading your warriors. So I guess technically you can also put it with gargoyles if you want to give them a +1 to hit.
Oh god, that's right.
I don't know why. I don't think you would care. They're 20 shots in total. If you have 20 models, it's 1 shot per model.
Now you're hitting on 3, so there's a possibility of maybe hitting.
It's okay.
Yeah,
but
it's
like
okay. They're not there.
They're Prime unless you're like making a list where you want to fill everything with swarm. There's like, okay, I got these gargoyles.
Yeah, the gargoyles are not there
to I have my 1 dedicated not swarm unit.
Yeah, they're not there to shoot, to kill things. They're there to do objectives and gargoyle jail.
You know what? Actually, at that point, there actually might be an argument to giving them the next one that makes it so they have a -1 to get shot at.
That one I would agree with. That's just like, hey, gargoyle jail.
You have this obnoxiously, like, vaguely tanky objective unit that's running around.
That's right.
That could be funny. I mean, they're still saving on 6s, so if you do hit, but like, if you're playing against guard, they're gonna hate getting rid of the gargoyles because they're hitting on 4s by default. So they're gonna have to use an order just to get a +1 to shoot, just so they can hit your gargoyles.
Yep. And then there's elevated might, which gives them the ability to charge and charge when they advance, which actually is also good. So basically, run a prime with a couple with warriors.
Melee warriors. They get up at the start of the game and just they run up, they charge in, and they're already tearing something apart.
Yeah,
and getting like super aggressive early on that can back, especially if it's like the 1 unit, because then they're just standing out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, so also
getting that pressure on early on can also be really good. It depends.
All right, I'm gonna deny you your secondaries by locking you into your own deployment zone.
Yeah, it doesn't work with some things, of course, like Space Marines with like, Inceptors. They still don't care because they're in deep strike for their objective guys. But
though there is the negative that warriors really only move up 6 inches.
Yeah, but again, that's helping you advance to help mitigate that. You can also just use this to kill something you don't want to be able to act.
Right. All right, for stratagems. Oh, 1 second. Let me try something real quick.
3 of these start with the word synaptic.
All right. Awesome, it worked. Okay. 1 second. Luke Dunehammer, how you doing, buddy? Welcome. How are you today? All right. Enhance stratagems. Synaptic amplification. Hello?
Yep.
Okay, you're still here. I was just like,
I'm
doing good, Luke. I'm doing good. Welcome. Just learning some, or just going over a bunch of the Grotmas Detachments and giving our quick personal thoughts. I say
All right.
quick, we're still making conversations. Anyways,
It's 7 p.m. and we're 3 in. Let's go.
yay. Anyways, I'll okay, so if that unit is the all right, so synaptic amplification. That one's actually not too bad. If the unit is a Tyranid warrior unit, select up to one endless multiple unit from your army that is not battle shocked within 6 inches of it until the end of the phase. Each time a model in those units makes an attack roll, reroll, wound roll of 1, and if it's a Tyranid warriors, reroll hit roll of 1 as well, which they kind of already do. So,
But
in
you
that
can
case,
do that and then take the reroll to save and get all.
yep. Basically, I'm just gonna reroll 1s on everything now. Thank you very much. Sadly, got a lot of Grotmas. Are you just fun and not very strong? Yeah, that's pretty much me. I'm not. Yeah, pretty much
Also, you can use this to you can pick like a warriors unit and then also pick a
like a
swarm
Hormog.
units like your
Oh,
gaunts or your gargoyles.
yeah.
That's very useful because I mean, it's just also it's encouraging you to run things that aren't warriors, which I really really everything else rules wise is telling you please run the maximum amount of warriors you're legally allowed to field.
Yeah, pretty much. All right. Yeah,
Sorry about that.
oh, you're
My
good.
voice is not used to talking this much.
Well, we got. Oh, so we'll just try and go through
It's
things.
27 ago.
Yeah, we'll just try and get through things quickly as we can. Not really like just give our quick personal thoughts over it and go over.
There's some where we can like basically skip over them. Like I want to show you something very very funny for 1,000.
Okay. Well, all right. So so I think this detachment actually does have some legs.
Yeah, I think that there's definitely some sauce here. I think that if you want to run a list with a bunch of warriors, this is perfect for that, and it honestly could be pretty good. I don't think this is going to see much play because you need to run a frankly silly amount of warriors for this list to be worth it.
At minimum, at minimum maybe 3 full units minimum.
Yeah, like 3 of 6, like that's like the minimum, and then you
Yeah.
could still be happy with more and more. Like you're expected to run mostly warriors. This all of your rules and interact with warriors. So
I do like the restorative impulse though.
yeah, I think that's pretty useful. Considering you're a lot tankier.
Oh yeah, yeah. It was like I'm gonna save on 5s now. In theory, this one seems really cool. Just in reality, not very good. I kind of beg to differ. It really depends. I think we definitely need to do a lot of research and actual gameplay to see if it actually really is good. But I feel like this detachment does have legs.
Yeah. Also, in regards to them being just fun and not very strong, I'm fine with that as long as they're not like really weak. Like if they're playable, I'm happy. All right, we're not going to look at any of the enhancements. We're not going to look at any of the stratagems because I can tell you right now they're worse than the other attachments. But I want you to look at the 2 effects that you get from the detachment rule. Just like the bottom paragraph there. That's the only part you need to read because I want to show you what's wrong with this.
Each time a Thousand Suns model from your army makes a psychic attack, reroll a wound roll of 1. If such a model is wholly within your army's flow of magic, each time it makes a psychic attack, add 1 to the wound roll instead.
All right, now first, I'd like you to go to the Rubric Marines data sheet, and I want you to tell me what their like specific rule is, like in the abilities area.
I think I just think why not play the NIDs or GSC themselves normally, but there is something there for sure. Just not sure if it's a goal to be mined. Maybe.
For the Gene Stokehouse one, you could say that. But we were just looking at like the Warriors one.
Yes. All right.
So look at the Rubric Marines data sheet, please. So that would be in the top left with the skull, or you could hit that skull at the bottom left, right. All right. Now, tell me what it says in the abilities section.
Each time a model in this unit makes a ranged attack, reroll wound roll a 1. If the target of the attack is within range of an eject marker you do not control, you can reroll the wound roll instead.
All right, so already half of this attachment's obsolete. Now let's look at Magnus the Red.
Oh no. Oh no. Magnus. Okay, we're right here.
He's a character.
Yep, got
Now let's look at what. Let's look at the thing that everyone gets when they're near him in his aura.
While a friendly 1,000 Psyker unit is within 6 inches of this model, each time a model in that unit makes a psych attack, add 1 to the hit roll and add 1 to the ruin roll. Yeah, pretty much.
Would you like to know the only two units that you run in Thousand Suns
are Magnus and Rubik Marines.
Yep. You also run sorcerers to attach to the Rubric Marines, but since they're attached to the Rubric Marines, they get the Rubric Marines ability. That's it. That's your list. You might run some Zangors standing on the point, but who cares what they're doing? They don't even have psychic attacks.
This attachment is tragic? Yeah, from what I'm already seeing, yeah, it's very tragic.
And the funniest part is, even outside of all of this, if you wanted to do like, oh yeah, I want a detachment that buffs my psychic attacks, do you want to know what the other detachment does? It buffs psychic attacks. It lets you give them dev wounds, which is way better.
Oh yeah, that already sounds a lot better. All right, well, I guess there's no need to look at it anymore.
You don't even need to look at everything else. Like the enhancements, they're fine, probably, but like half the Thousand Suns game plan is their other enhancements.
Yeah. All right,
Admech.
All right, Admech.
This one's weird.
Good God, that's a lot of words. In your command phase, select one or more units from your army, including units that are embarked by the transporters. The maximum number of units you can select depends on the battle size as follows. 1 unit, 2 unit, 3 unit. I'm not sure.
Point game is 2.
Yeah. Until the start of your next command phase, those units gain the Hallow Overdrive keyword. Then select one of the overdrives. Okay, so add 2 inches to movement characteristics of units. That's pretty good. Add 1 to the toughness characteristic of units. That's really good. This unit is able to declare a charge in a turn which it advanced. Not sure. Add mix one of those units at one of those armies that wants to even charge. Models in this unit. They have some melee? Okay. Models in this unit have the stealth ability. Oh my goodness gracious. I don't think I need to read anything else to know that this thing is
Now, there is one thing I'd like to point out here. Where in any of this did it say the words Adeptus Mechanicus?
Nowhere.
Yes. So if I run a knight, what's stopping me from using Halo Override on the knight?
Nothing.
Yep. We've accidentally made the Knight Soup detachment that everyone's wanted so much for Admech.
Oh no!
Just do it on the Knight.
Oh no!
The enhancements is also a very, very juicy enhancement.
Oh, okay.
And it's the first one, and I want you to read Transauricular Dyad Wafers. Not specifically those words, because those words are hard to read, but the effects of it.
Cybernetica Data Smith model only, okay? So when the bear is attached to a Castellan robots unit, interesting word name. Anyways, until the end of the battle, models in that unit have the Doctrine Imperatives ability and gain the Halo Overdrive keyword. This unit cannot be selected when selecting units as part of the Neospheric Transference Detachment rule. Okay, so the army rule is Doctrine of Imperatives. For some reason, robots just don't have it. One of the other detachments, the literal only effect is robots have this. So if you're running just 1 unit of robots, this already obsoletes that. But also, they permanently have the Halo Override ability. So you don't get 2 units with Halo Override, you get 2 units plus robots. And one of the units is a knight. Or 2 of them could be armatures. This data sheet goes hard.
Yeah, no, congratulations, we've reached the first good Admech detachment. None of the other ones are. I'm sorry, that's so good, but like a lot of other detachments for these guys are awful. So seeing this is very exciting for Admech players because they now have things that have effects. Because previously we were gaming with rules like bomb the opponent's deployment zone. Okay.
I mean, not bad, but
it stops doing anything the moment they walk out of their deployment. And all it does is like D3 mortal wounds on a 3-up or on a 5-up if they battle shock themselves. It's like on first round, who cares if you're battle shocked? You weren't controlling objectives on the first round anyway. So like it really doesn't matter. It's just not a good rule.
Alright, if your unit is a hill order unit, it suffers D3 or more wounds. Select one. Sorry, I'm reading this. I'm reading the strategies right now. They are toasters. Of course, they can't do rules correctly. Luke.
To be fair, the toasters previously had some crazy rules. I'm pretty sure you could give like Ari a 2-up invulnerable save. Oops.
2-up invulnerable saves? Might as well just.
Welcome to the shenanigans of AdMech. Their entire thing is supposed to be shenanigans. I just forgot to give them abilities in this edition, so they made them suck instead.
Oh boy.
AdMech are supposed to be. I spend like 30 minutes screwing around in my command phase, throwing around sensors of strange vapors, and all of a sudden I just have like a billion rules. You have no idea what happened, and you kind of just have to trust me on my word when I say that I kill you now.
It sounds like Thousand Suns right now.
Yeah, exactly. It was supposed to be one of those
Oh
shenanigans.
boy.
Like, and that's also a very Zinchi thing to do. So Thousand Suns were also that.
Cool.
But this is a very low shenanigans edition, so they kind of don't get to have that, and they're just not that good.
Low shenanigans looks at Thousand Suns.
Yeah, now consider how bad they could have been in 10th edition, where Skitarii were allowed to get a 2-up invulnerable save with enough shenanigans.
Yeah.
Spells used to exist in 9th edition, and they were the only faction that had 2 pages of them. Everyone else had like 6.
Damn. Anyways,
Army casters.
all right. So, in other enhancements or stratagems I should look at.
I don't recall anything else being like super standout otherwise.
All right.
Cognitive reinforcement can be pretty good, because that just gives you both of your army rules effect at once. Basically, how it is every round is that you pick one effect of the army rule. You either pick like a defensive one or more offensive one for either range or melee, or like defense or offense.
The Orc Grotmas Detachment is Daka.
Advancing.
We'll get to that soon. Hopefully.
Yeah, the orcs one is very fun. I like that one.
All right. So I suppose there's not much
the other
else.
enhancements are fine. It's really, we can move on. Critting on 5s could be funny with that. Overall, I think we've seen enough to conclusively say that like this is not only a fun detachment, but a good detachment. All right, Necrons, tanks. I think this is like agreed to be like actually really stupid and busted, but we'll look at it.
Okay, each time a Necron is modeled from your army makes an attack that targets the unit within range of one or more objective markers, add 1 to the hit roll. In addition, ranged weapons equipped by Necron's vehicles and Necron's mounted models have the assault keyword.
Having a
have
+1 to hit
assault
on
ability.
Necrons is really good because they hit on 4s. This isn't their only like detachment that lets them get that. Awakened Dynasty gives any units that lead, like any led units, like with characters in them, a +1 to hit as well. But you can't lead vehicles. So now, if you want to buff up all your vehicles, well, now they all have a +1 to hit, and Necrons have some really good vehicles. But also, as of note, I do believe the Silent King. Yeah, he's a vehicle.
Oh God!
So anything in this detachment that buffs vehicles buffs the Silent King.
Oh, you don't say.
Now he already hits on 2, so the +1 to hit doesn't matter.
Oh, yeah, that's true. But he does gain assault though.
Looking at all the detachment, like all the stratagems, he can use all of those.
Okay. Cool.
And he also does get assault, which is he's already pretty fast at 8 inches of movement, but like assault with like he's got very good guns, so getting to assault with them, that's really good. And he has like aura effects, so getting to run up with that and get more people in the aura is very, very useful.
Yeah, any type of vehicle that can run up in front of your face and shoot you with stratagems behind its back, kind of
The enhancements
help.
are all for things that aren't vehicles, pretty much. They don't have any auras, so like, I guess you can pick one to get -1 damage taken. But okay, whatever. So let's look at the stratagems real quick.
All right, so
Vehicles or mannequins can phase through walls.
that's
Get
nice.
+1 to wound against a target that's within range of an objective marker. That's pretty good. Vehicles can get that one effect that are on Custodian Wardens, the strength toughness one.
Okay, and then there's
You can just activate reanimation protocols. That's on a unit's on an objective marker. You can just do it.
oh damn.
If you would advance, just roll 6. Don't roll for it. Just move 6. And after an opponent's unit shoots, you get to do a move up to D6. Or if it's a vehicle, just move 6.
So why do you have 2 stratagems for that? What?
No, one of them is if you would advance, you just get to move. And one of them is
Oh,
if you were shot at,
right,
you just get to move 6 for free on your opponent's turn.
Oh, right. Yeah, so like, I'm gonna shoot your tank. Okay, cool. Is it still alive? Yeah. Oh, yes. Okay, I'm gonna move him behind this terrain so you can't shoot at
It's
him
after
anymore.
the shooting is done. It's like if there's other things that would shoot you, like, okay, I don't like this anymore. I'm going to leave. Or if it's something that you want to get into melee, you can approach. I would
Yeah.
love my weapons of the final triarch on the Silent King to get into your face sooner.
Yes.
12
Yeah.
attacks, 2 up, 8 strength, 3 AP, 2 damage.
Good
And he has auras he can
God.
pick from, and since he's already in his own aura, he can. And he already gets a +1 to hit because he's targeting someone who was on an objective.
And and then just pick the fair under the stars. I'm gonna reroll all my ones. Thank you.
Exactly. So yeah,
Makes me
this is
actually
kinda
almost want to
crazy.
go
This
ahead
is
and start
kinda really
purchasing.
good.
Yeah, it makes me almost want to start purchasing Necrons.
Never
But
buying
no,
armies
no.
just because they're good.
Yeah,
Because
but
they will change from
no.
edition
I
to
must
edition.
save
From 10th
my money
edition,
for
Necrons are
Emperor's
terrible.
Children. I think we talked over each other.
Yep, we did.
Sorry.
All right. So yeah, I think we've seen enough with Necrons. That's yeah.
Death Watch.
Also, the ribcage tanks get stronger. I don't know if that's really good, but like,
Yeah,
I mean,
top,
one of them already doesn't really want to move because it gets dev wounds, but doesn't. But like,
top table's Hypercrypt is still king. However, this is a solid number 2 and very good, and more ways to play an army that's viable is great to see. Nice.
all right. Moving on to Death Watch. This is the entire index. We are not reading the entire index. Having looked at it, I can tell you it's mostly just what they got rid of before. There are a few changes, but they're very minor.
Okay, so nothing worthy of note. Gotcha. Moving on.
There are things that would be worthy of note, but I would need to see a list of things that got changed because I can't tell from a glance. I don't have the entire old Death Watch index memorized.
Yeah.
Alright, the Veiled Blade Elimination Force. The worst attachment for an army that was already really bad. It's only fluff. If you're playing this, it's for fluff because Imperial Agents were never going to be playable.
And good God, those points for the enhancements.
For context, if you pick an assassin, you have to put this on them. You cannot take an assassin in this attachment and not the rules.
They'll also be gone in 11th edition Death Watch.
Not a Death Watch, Imperial Agents. People
Oh.
don't think agents are going to be a playable faction as an actual army in 11th edition, and I don't blame them because they don't have an army rules game even. Why would they say an actual faction? They're just meant to be things you soup into other armies. Come on.
Yeah. Okay. Carrying on.
I do
Depth
wanna look at this 'cause they do have some funny things. They're just not strong. So, for context, this is the one based around the assassins. Like, you know that one sniper in Imperium? Everyone knows that sniper guy.
Yeah.
He's one of them. So if you run him in this attachment, he costs 45 more points, but his rifle has anti-monster and vehicle. Additionally, assassins can use all of the abilities, like their for battle, at least twice per battle instead. Notably, they are all like unique characters, so you can't run 2 like snipers. You can't just bring 3 snipers and be like, okay, I'm gonna snipe you to death now. You still have to play Imperial Agents, which is bad because then you have to play Imperial Agents. But this is funny.
It's funny, just not great. Or just not good.
Which honestly, I think that's good that for Imperial Agents to just be like, yeah, fuck it, this is funny and weird because like if you're playing this, you are not playing this to be good. You are not playing this to win because you're playing Imperial Agents. You're playing this because you thought it would be funny to play Imperial Agents.
Yeah.
Yeah. Moving on, there's nothing to like assess the power of.
All right, buddy.
Not. We got into my faction,
Yeah.
Custodius. All right.
Yes.
Hit
Hit me.
So, while a Custodius vehicle unit from your army is at starting strength, unless it's battle shocked or an aircraft, it gets +2 OC. If
Oh,
it's
wow.
below starting strength, it gets a reroll to hit rolls of 1, and if it's below half strength, it gets reroll hit and wound rolls of 1. Now this isn't good. This is something the Tyranids have for like their big monster detachment, and it's also not good there.
It's won a couple tournaments.
No, I don't think anyone has ever shown up with the
Crusher Stampede?
Russia. Yeah, I don't think that's ever won a tournament, has it?
Yes.
Huh.
Anyways, Luke, I now have a mission. Win an RTT with agents.
So true. You know, so
All right.
the issue with this is also like below half strength. It doesn't work if you're half strength, which sucks. Why do they phrase this? This just isn't that good. But below, you also get to add 2 inches to the movement characteristic of any walkers, which are dreadnoughts, and add 1 to advance and charge rolls for such units, which is really good because your dreadnoughts are pretty slow. And you can make 2 of your dreadnoughts into characters.
Wait, what?
You're allowed to turn your dreadnoughts into characters in this attachment. 2 of them. This means that you can give them enhancements and make one of them your warlord. This includes the Telemon, which is basically the size of a small knight.
I don't know if that's good or bad.
There are 4 enhancements. Only 3 of them can be. One of them is they get +1 to attacks, strength, and damage on their melee weapon, which is very good. Because now I can put that on the melee weapons of a Dreadnought. I can give a Dreadnought a +5 Feel No Pain, or I can give a vehicle an aura that makes it so that whenever infantry or mounted units are 1, which is the only roll we miss on, so that's pretty good. And then you can give a character, not a vehicle, the ability to pick 1 vehicle or mounted within 6 inches of them, and give them the ability to shoot in the turn they fell back, which is okay, that's fine. I don't think you're really going to run that one. But the other ones are pretty funny. And then for stratagems, you can get that 1 ordnance effect on one of your vehicles. You can have vehicles or mounted units move through terrain features horizontally, and models, so you can phase through things. You can give Custodies a fight on death with a +1 would if they were a dreadnought. You can give your Custodies the ability to shoot and charge, and in turn they advance. Specifically, the walkers, they only get to shoot if they advance with regular units. For vehicles, you pick a vehicle specifically. If you pile in with a Custodies unit, you get to pile in D3+3. I don't know why that's 1. What?
I think
that's a weird enhancement.
I think that's more or less to try and help surround your opponent's units a lot better for like just.
I guess, but like.
So like on the off chance that they if they survive and they success, yeah, they succeed on their battle shock test. Hey, they still have to do a desperate breakout because they're surrounded.
And then you can give a unit that's shooting ignore cover and the ability to ignore any modifiers to your hit roll or ballistic.
That's pretty good because you're pretty much always getting cover in 10th edition, from what I heard.
Yeah. Plus, this is clearly for tanks because like shooting in Custodies, that's your tanks. That's like unless you're running Sagittarium Custodians, and if you are, that's your fault. So that means if you have a tank in engagement range, you can shoot with it and have no downsides to being an engager range. Because if you have no modifiers to your hit roll from this, Big Guns Never Tire doesn't do anything. So you just get to shoot in engagement range, no downside, which kind of makes the other one lets you fall back and shoot obsolete, but whatever.
Sounds like a cool detachment.
No, there wasn't really a fallback and shoot. That was advanced shoot. I'm halfway. No, there was a thing that you shoot and fall back. That was the one.
Have you
Yeah.
played any
So
games with
very
this
cool
yet?
attachment. I have not played with this yet, but I really want to because this is very funny.
All right,
Again, the starting strength thing that hardly matters, but like everything else is just funny. It's funny.
It
Is it
is.
strong? No, you should be running shield host because it lets you crit on 5s. But this is funny, so I don't care.
So let's
Also, one more thing before we move on from the topic of Custodes vehicles. Our
Yes.
base army rule is based around melee, right? And it's supposed to be like different fighting stances. You're picking like a fighting stance that you're a master of.
Yeah, you're
What if I
choosing.
told you every single tank we have, and I do mean tanks, not just dreadnoughts, but tanks, have this army rule?
Huh.
I can buff the melee. I can do a melee stance with my Land Raider. I've mastered the art of running people over. Try not to dwell on it. You are allowed to do that. You can't use this on Sisters at all. Sisters of Silence don't get this, but you can do it with a tank.
I didn't think about that. That's interesting.
All of them have the keyword for Marshal Kata. Nothing is saying they can't.
Okay. That's...
I mean, technically, all of the melee buffs, you could just use that on. You could just run someone over through. Is it good? No, but you could.
All right, we'll have to set up a day to play a game.
Yep. All right. Chaos Knights. So yeah, time for knights.
Knights.
We've upgraded from dreadnoughts.
Yay!
All right. Titanic Chaos Knights from your army have the following ability. While a friendly damned unit that is cultists from Chaos Space Marines is within 9 inches of this unit, each time a model in that unit makes an attack, reroll a hit roll of 1 and a wound roll of 1. So this just gives cultists rerolls to hit and wound of 1. And then Chaos Knights in general have the ability where a Chaos Knight unit is selected to shoot or fight, it can make a Dark Sacrifice. If you do, select one cultist unit within 6 inches. The cultist will take a leadership test. If passed, they lose D3 models, and if failed, they lose D3 plus 3 models. And in either case, you get to give your Chaos Knight either lethal hits or sustained hits 1. And then, since you can't normally soup cultists, this lets you soup up to 500 points of cultist in your 2,000 point army. It's 250 points per 1,000. So a quarter of your army gets to be cultists from Chaos Space Marines.
I don't think I don't know how I feel about that.
So this is a very, very strange attack. So on the one hand, you're running this, by the way. You're already inherently running this because your other detachment was unplayably bad, I believe. Let me check it. The third word in it is Battle Shock, so yeah, no, it's bad. This is inherently just an upgrade. If you're playing Chaos Space Marines, go buy Cult, buddy. Or Chaos Knights, I mean.
No detachment will make Chaos Knight users switch unless it has a stratagem that's as strong as walk through walls.
I thought they already had walk through walls like a base thing.
Yeah,
now
that's not a detachment thing. That's just a rules thing. Yeah. Yep. As for enhancements, models. All right, so each time the bear makes a dark sacrifice, the maximum number of models are destroyed. And the maximum number of models are destroyed, and they get both lethal and sustained hits. You're gonna run out of cultists before even turn 3. Almost, it sounds like.
So this is the other thing with this attachment. What if they just shoot the cultists?
Hey, you're
if you're playing against a knights faction, you obviously weren't building your list around planning around that unless you have precognition, and if you do, give that to me.
It's a stratagem to go through walls? No. Titanic characters now have a rule where they can walk through walls, and if they do so, they take you roll a d6, and on a 1, you're battle shocked.
Yeah, and most knights are characters, I believe. Yeah. So you don't need that to Kool-Aid Man. Chaos Knights don't run big knights, that's their problem. And even then, you can get character the Warlord Stalker get owned.
Chaos Knights don't run big knights?
I don't know why.
Chaos Knights don't run big knights? What?
Yeah, no, Chaos Knights literally just play War Dogs.
Oh, that'll explain that kind of.
balance is kind of scuffed. You could maybe run them with with this, because this obviously benefits singular knights better than it does multiple, because you're picking one to do the sacrifice for.
Huh.
Again, I don't think that you're gonna run that either way.
Fixed note, Jada wasn't getting to you, but you're. Oh, sorry.
I that was partially me forgetting that Chaos Knights just don't run Titanic models, right?
Luke, I'm not sure if you were talking about me or Mouth. If it was me, I definitely apologize.
I also apologize. I did forget that that Big Knights just suck in right now.
Other guy.
So I think. Hi, I'm Mouth. But yeah, I think you might run a Titanic. I don't think you will if you're like an accomplished. But also, if you're playing comp knights, I feel bad for you.
Yeah, I'm talking with my moderator
No
Mouth
help.
who are going over the detachments.
Yeah, this is. I'm mostly looking at these from a casual perspective, because I think tournament play is going to change too much from these. Like Star Shatter Arsenal, that's going to be run at like tournaments, but like most of these are just meant to be funny. I only care that they're good enough to be played in a casual match. So like Imperial Agents wasn't, Death Guard isn't, Thousand Suns isn't, and those I don't like a lot because they're just not good enough to be run casually. They're just bad poo poo. Period.
This detachment is useless until Knights don't stop running 13 War Dogs. Non-comp anything is fine. Yeah. So from what it sounds like, yeah. If they're not running big Knights, yeah.
Yeah, but it is a way to play big knights, and if you are playing a big knight, to anything else that is your other detachment, because look at it, it's not good. It's just sad.
Yeah. If a rule's got to go around
They
battle
didn't make
shock stuff, it's
big knight
not
good.
great. So far the only army that I found like where that rule is kind of okay is the Tyranids.
Yeah, and again, that's because Tyranids gets to try and battle shock everything at once, so en masse, so something's going to happen from it realistically.
Yeah.
And it's also in tandem with another base army rule, so like, yeah, it's free. It comes free with your Xbox, so why complain?
Okay.
Also, yeah, War Dogs
Stratagems.
just are really good. Yeah, stratagems,
When Chaos Knight until the army that was just destroyed, you can use the stratagem on that unit, even though it was just destroyed until the end of the battle. The enemy unit that destroyed your unit is marked. Each time a damned model from your army makes an attack that targets a marked unit, that attack has lethal hits ability.
Side note, you don't care. It's cultists.
Oh.
If you're sending your cultists over to do melee with lethal hits, something's wrong. Their attack is 2 attacks, 4 up, 3 strength, 0 AP, 1 damage.
Oh, it doesn't say
It's
whether
20
it's
for 100 points.
it doesn't really say if it's a melee attack, it just says an attack.
Yeah, but like you can also run like guardsmen, I guess.
Ah,
But that's only coming in tens. And realistically, I think you want big units so you don't just kill them.
gotcha.
Oh yeah, I forgot they also buffed the Chaos Knights armor. True.
Oh, what
Because
they
it used
buff?
to just be like, yeah, the second part of it used to not do anything until like Battle Round 3, I think.
The Doom and Darkness.
Yeah, I think they didn't trigger until Battle Round 3 before, and by Battle Round 3, that's like most of the match is already over.
Yeah, pretty much. There's like very few remaining models left.
Yeah, most things happen in the first two battle rounds. So like this was just completely worthless because it happened at the end. It's like the same issue Calyon had in Tau, where like Tau were really, really bad until they got the because the attachment was based around a playstyle that sucks.
Ah,
Because waiting, you don't wait. Most of the match is the first 2 rounds.
Models are destroyed. Your unit regains up to D3 lost wounds. That's actually not bad. If one or more models of the battle shock units were destroyed as a result of those attacks, your unit gains D3 plus 2 lost wounds instead. Soul Hunger. That's not bad.
I think this
Hold
is
on.
a very, very good casual detachment.
Probably.
I do think that there is one like big weakness where like if you're playing against knights again, you didn't plan your list around knights. You probably have guns that are meant for like chaff, right?
Yeah.
Now, if I shoot my flamer at a knight, nothing happens. It's a knight. So I'm just not going to point at the knight because you've now given me a that's not the knight. So I don't think the cultists are going to last long in this because they're cultists.
Yeah. It's like they're dead and
And also, if I destroy those, I starve you of your detachment rule that gives you a pretty significant buff to your knight.
yeah. That's a
So
very
overall,
big issue.
I just don't think this is like again. I think this is probably pretty fun to play casually.
Yeah, kind
But
of similar to another
thinking of that and
yeah.
thinking of now being pointed out that the like Kool-Aid Manning isn't really a thing in this for small knights. This is definitely probably not going to see like any like strong
Ah.
play. I overestimated that. Thank you, Luke, for pointing that out.
Yep. It almost sounds kind of sounds similar to another detachment that we'll get to later on.
Anyways, so back on the topic of knights and souping things from other armies. So remember I was talking about like how like AdMech are pretty bad and like they don't have good like strong things going for them. This lets you soup AdMech into your knights army for some reason. Skitari don't have things on their own. Their thing is supposed to be that they like get strong buffs to justify them. It's like supposed to be like sisters are like your data sheets aren't good, but then you buff them up a lot, and then now they're really good. But they didn't have the buff them up part that well. It's better now that they've had their entire army role reworked from the ground up, but they don't have their army role in this attachment because you're playing Imperial Knights and AdMech.
Right.
So why would I care about bringing 500 points of Tech Priests and Skitari?
Thank you, Luke, for that
into
follow.
my
Glad you're
knights?
enjoying the stream. Welcome.
What are they
welcome,
going to do for me?
That's a very good point.
With the cultists, they were justified because, like, yeah, the cultists aren't doing anything. The purpose here is to die for me so I can get lethal.
Oh, yeah, just like
I'm not
we charge
sacrificing
it.
the AdMech.
We are here to die. We salute you.
Yeah. But, like, the AdMech, they're not doing that.
No.
They're getting to reroll hit rolls and wound rolls of 1. And Tech Priests get to heal D3 lost wounds to Knight models. Okay.
Huh.
This doesn't matter. None of this is useful. It's
Okay, carrying
Your
on.
other one is a 6-up Feel No Pain, and then a 5-up Feel No Pain once you take the once you manage to like become honored, which is like your army's main rule.
Souping
And you
detachments
can
never
become
seem too
honored
good,
by either
sadly.
holding the opponent's home objective or killing their
Yeah.
general.
Sort. Yeah, sounds like it.
So yeah, the other one, the other detachment, that's pretty good. And it also has the Kool-Aid Man thing that you might run Titanic Knights in this because you don't have 5 billion War Dogs. I'm not even sure you can fill a list with armigers in this.
Ah,
These only get to run like 6.
gotcha. All right. Next up, Grey Knights.
The Grey Knights one. I remember my initial confusion trying to wrap my head around.
Let me pull the Discord up on that one.
I am still unsure how I feel about this one, honestly. And I've had like half a month to think it over.
Right.
So I need to reopen the Purifier Squad data sheet because that's like the entire thing this is focused around.
Imperial does do big boy knights, but they do mix, yeah.
Yeah. No, I know you definitely take War Dog. You always take War Dogs or Archers because they're good. Funny little guys.
Me is just like
Plus,
scrolling up.
Bondsman thing.
Me scrolling up in our Discord to find the conversation about the Grey Knights. That's a lot of. Oh, that's a lot of. Oh, I think I found it.
There was a lot to go over with it.
Yeah.
It's a very, very odd detachment.
Anyways, certain areas of the battlefield are within your army's hollowed ground as follows. Your deployment zone is always within your hollowed ground. The area of the battlefield is within 6 inches of more Purifier Squad. Like it, just Grey Knights got smashed in the recent Ballant data slate. Not as much as Sisters did.
Did they get smashed? I don't remember anything about them in the day. Let me double check that.
Yeah.
Let's see what they did. Data slate, data slate, data slate. Where is it? Data slate, data slate.
Got it. Balanced data
There it
slate.
is. Oh, did they have a 3-inch deep strike thing that they were using?
Oh yeah, the 3-inch deep
That
strike thing itself got nerfed to 6 inches.
Because I know they have a lot of deep strike shenanigans inherently.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, they have no new direct hits, but I assume that the deep strike thing. Oh, Armor of Contempt.
Yeah, Armor Contempt got nerfed to
I
just
didn't know they
only
were
one attack.
relying on like Armor of Contempt effect. Yeah,
AOC changes was the main one. Affects Green Knights the most. Yeah, that's what it sounds like. Yeah, because they do got a bunch of uppy downy stuff. Sisters deserve theirs, just a little less would have been fair. Yes, we'll get the sisters here at some point.
yeah.
I
Rest in
have
peace.
words for that one. I have words for that one.
All right. So, anyways, Purifier Squad posting. Back to that.
Yes.
So your deployment zone is always your hallowed ground. If you control half the objective markers in no end, that's hallowed ground. If you control your opponent's deployment zone's objective, that's your hallowed ground. And anything within 6 inches of your Purifier Squad is also your hallowed ground. So that's just like, it's like the demons thing, but also Purifier just emit an aura of this. Purifiers on their own, they have that stupid rule that's the Crusher Stampede one that I don't like. But it's even worse because, like, below half strength, at best, that's 4 models.
Cool. Weird. Anyways, and then at the start of any phase, if you control at least half of the objective markers within no man's land until the end of the phase, no man's land is within your army's hollowed ground. Interesting. At the start of any phase, if you control at least half of the objective markers within your opponent's deployment zone, which there's really only ever one.
I think that this is more just them future-proofing it in case they ever do an AOS style like thing where it's like, yeah, your opponent's deployment zone has 3 objectives, your deployment zone has 3 objectives. Go find out what happens, buddy. Because AOS has some wild like formations for the battlefield. I gotta show you some.
Yeah, I definitely. I'm not lying. I do actually want to get into AOS. I just don't have the time to do the models because I'm still working on a bunch of 40K, and I'm still learning. So
you want to do Emperor's Children?
Yeah. Yes. First Tyranid is slightly Space Marines.
Both at the same time, and I have nothing painted.
Hey, I actually got a good number of my Tyranids painted, so I just got about another.
Yeah, no, you're doing better than I am on this front.
Yeah. Okay. So. And I still got at least three more models to get to make my initial list that I want, which is just two Exorcists and a Tyrannofex.
All right. So first things first, Purifier datasheet. We kind of got to look at that because it's like this whole detachment, basically. It's a lot of Purifier focused stuff. So Purifiers are just like your basic.
Give me, hold on. Give me tell me who to click because I can't find Purifier.
Oh, this is you're still on Grey Knights.
Oh, are we moving on?
Yeah, you're still on Chaos Hunting. You should be looking at Grey Knights.
Oh, I'm a dingus.
Purifiers are just like the standard strike squad, so it's like T4, 2-up save, 2 wounds. By default, they all have a Stormbolter and a Nemesis Force weapon, which is, you know what a Stormbolter is. And then a Nemesis Force weapon is 3 attacks, 3 up, 6 strength, 2 AP, 2 damage.
Yep, and rapid fire 2.
That's on the Stormbolter, yeah. Alright, but then they also all get a Purifying Flame, which is an anti-infantry 2 up, 3, 1 attack, 3 up to hit, 4 strength, but again, anti-infantry 2 up, 1 AP, 1 damage. On its own, that's like whatever. In a lot of numbers, like if you have 10 of that and you have Crow leading it, it's actually not that bad for blinking away at stuff because Crow adds 1 to the attacks. 5,000 points of Leagues of Votann. Good lord. That's like 3 of every unit.
Hey, congratulations, Luke. You have all the Votann.
You have the whole faction, every single person in it. All right. Anyway, so Purifies, like, they're all right. There's better things you run. But, like, for a strike squad thing, if you want to, like, especially considering if you want to run Crow, you run this, because, like, you run Purifiers because that's what he leads, and, like, Crow is cool as hell. So if you want to play Crow, you're probably going to play him Purifiers. You're probably going to play him here.
And
Adding
right here.
rerolls to hit rolls of 1 is pretty good because that's like half of your rolls that miss because you hit on 3s.
Right.
Rerolling the entire hit roll is also really good. Also, notably, it says if that unit is a Purifier squad or is within Hallowed Ground, you get to reroll the hit roll on the army. But Purifier
Missing
squads are already always in the Hallowed Ground because they admit it.
missing one character, but had have every unit 3 of. Oh wow.
Dios mío.
Uh,
That's Crow. Crow is very cool. I believe I posted
anyways.
the model for Crow when I was talking about the.
Yeah, you did. It was so many models, so many cool looking models in Warhammer.
Yeah, it's almost like that's how they get you.
Yeah, probably.
So
mean-
anyway,
Enhancements. A lot of the bear's unit is not battle shocked. Add 3 to the objective's bear control characteristics. Well, I guess you're not losing that objective anytime soon. Radiant Champion
it's
gives
only the bearer. Notably, it's not the bearer's unit. It's only the character. So
Oh.
you're not adding +3 to every single model in that unit. That would be silly.
Oh.
You're adding it to like your Brotherhood librarian. Also of note, none of these can be given to Purifiers. Can only be led by Crow.
Huh.
So all of these enhancements, if like you're not running just Purifiers because that's silly, and also you can only take 3 squads of them anyway.
And then the bear's melee weapons have precision. That kind of rarely comes into play.
Notably, if a melee attack is made within your hallowed ground, every time you score a wound, they take a mortal.
Okay, precision is great in this instance.
So you run up with a tech marine who has this. You send him with a purifier squad. You don't like attach him, but like have him near the purifier squad, but or use him in an area where you have control. And then him alongside like what's it called? Like the Dread Knight. Him and a Nemesis Dread Knight, I'm pretty sure they can just consistently kill Angron most of the time.
It's like, sorry, Angron, you ain't come back. But if you do, you're not staying long. But I want to kill and get scores. No.
Gaining stealth on one unit, that's just good.
Stealth in general is just great.
Yeah, especially considering they're already supposed to be pretty tanky because you have big saves. And then Paragon of Sanctity, you can pick a unit within 18 inches of the model and visible, and then that unit is within a hallowed ground. Now, notably, if you wanted to do that combo with the Tech Marine, it doesn't say Grey Knight's infantry model, so you can put this on a Grandmaster Dread Knight and have that just put your Tech Marine in to kill Angron.
Oh, nice. So basically,
Additionally, the second one, the other one at the top, the +3 to OC also doesn't specify. So I think you're probably supposed to put on that on a Dread Knight because that takes you from OC4 to OC7.
Rerolling ones for Dread Knight is cool. Well, yeah, it is because they hit on 2s.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna reroll all my misses so it's go around. Anyways, Paragon of Sanctity is pretty much
hits on 2s, but the Great Hammer hits on 3s. But then you skip it to reroll the whole hit roll.
And then the Paragon of Sanctity.
Yourself. I don't think there's anything saying you can't target yourself with Paragon of Sanctity.
Interesting.
Yeah, no, it doesn't say other. It says one friendly Grey Knight team with an 8. You can see yourself.
Hey, interesting.
So
and that rule is
and give your Grandmaster Dread Knight full rerolls for its Nemesis Demon Great Hammer that does D6 +1 damage on hit.
And that's a rule, just like with the ability the Nero Tyrant has to pick 2 units, and they're just within Synapse. Which I do like the change. I will say for the Tyrants, I'm really happy with the change that they made to the whole Synapse deal.
With the strength?
Yes, adding 1 to the strength of melee weapons.
Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah, and though And if the enemy's units within synapse range of the model during Shadow on the Warp, they get an extra -1 to their leadership test.
So yeah, overall, this is very weird because, like, I'm not gonna go over all the stratagems
Yeah.
because there's not. They're fine. There's like outside of the one thing like name pro because it can't really just say if it's led by a character because obviously it isn't. Everything here is fine. There's like the 6-inch deep strike that's useful. You can give something in a hollow ground of 4 interval, but I think your Terminators already had that, so it's just really for like your strike squads, like your purifiers. Yeah, overall, this is weird, but I think if you want to run Crow like a squad of 10 purifiers, that's actually pretty solid here. All right, moving on to Librarius Conclave.
Space Marines!
Back to looking at specimen.
Alrighty then. I haven't really read much into this. I know it's all about like psychers and stuff for the Space Marines factions. I'm getting
So
mixed hearings between this is really good and this is really bad. I'm like, I don't know which to believe.
the idea of this is
I'm just really surprised that they actually went for another Gladius type detachment.
yeah. So you have to pick one effect, and then any unit that's a psyker gets it. Now, notably, if a unit is attached to a librarian, then that unit that's attached is also a psyker now. Which is important because psychers are the librarian is the only non-named character in Space Marines that is psychic. You have the librarian in Terminator armor. I don't even think there's a librarian in Terminator armor, is there?
There is.
Yeah, you have the librarian in Terminator armor, and librarian in Phobos armor, and then that's it.
Yeah. Other one gives
I'm not
access
aware of
to
the combo Luke is referring to, but outside of the combo, it's this is fine. This is like I looked at this. And I
what's
think,
the fun combo?
okay.
I like combos.
It's like otherwise, looking at this, I just see this and I think, okay, man, sure, this is not that interesting to me.
Understandable.
It's probably fine to play with, but like it's just not interesting. And I think that's like the most damning thing because okay.
Yeah. All right. So just moving on then.
I want to see what Luke has to say.
Yep.
Yeah, also,
Luke.
side note with this one, laugh at Black Templar players because they can't play it because they're not allowed to take library.
I mean, well, technically they can, just thematically they can't.
No, they actually have a rule that says they can't.
Oh, really? Okay, never mind. I take that back. Fusillade with Sturmguard. Weapons by the models in despair. Have the anti-monster and sustain his ability if the pyromancer discipline is active for your army. Add 6 inches to the ranged characteristics of those weapons to the telekinesis discipline is active for your army.
Oh, all of the Sternguard guns have dev wounds.
Oh God! And it's a Phobos unit that can lead Sternguard.
Regular librarian can. It's
Regular librarian can. Oh God. That's
funny.
That
that's a pretty funny combo.
And then just does that rule work if they're inside of a transport unit with firing deck?
So the thing is, how a firing deck works is that legally the vehicle is the one.
And you cut out.
So the way firing deck works is that legally the gun is. So if you have 20 orcs in like a orc battle wagon, and you're shooting 20 shooters out of that, the way it works is that you are giving 20 shooters to the vehicle unit.
Mouth. That's twice now. You cut out. What do you go legally cut out?
I'm not allowed to say the law.
No, you're not. You're not allowed to meet.
So the way it works is if you have a unit. if you have like a unit with firing, that was just me stopping. If
Oh,
you have a
okay.
unit with firing deck and you try to shoot the guns with the firing deck, all of the guns are just given to the vehicle. If there are 20 orc
okay.
boys with shooters in a vehicle and they're trying to shoot with firing deck, the vehicle just gets 20 shooters. That's the rule.
Okay. So it
You're
doesn't
giving
actually.
20 guns to the vehicle.
Okay, so my thought process was, oh my god, stick them inside of a vehicle, and yeah, you got a shield just like the Hellblasters would
Yeah,
have.
no, you can't like put these guys
Okay,
inside
yeah,
of
all
like
right.
whatever Space Marine vehicle has firing.
Well, there goes that plan. Oh well,
Because then they're no because the vehicle itself isn't led by the psyker.
yeah. Well, that's funny. All right, Chaos Space
Shout out to the
Marines.
dead psyker dreadnought, by the way.
I'm sorry, what?
Shout out to the dead librarian Blood Angels. Rest in peace. You will be
Oh, poor guy.
All right. So first things first, before we look over this, I would just like to say that the first time I read this, I thought that you got to pick a different. Would be really funny, but no, you just pick one buff army wide. That's not as funny. It's still pretty good and it's still fun, but like I thought you just had a full casino at the start of the match for every single unit in your army.
Got to be in rapid fire for 30 shots, which is 12 inches. It's very funny, but that combo won't win tourneys alone. Yeah,
You know, it's
still
not
fun,
like
though.
a free win, but it's funny, and
Yeah.
he does some good damage.
Yeah. For this detachment, you can pick one, or you can roll for two.
If you have Fabius as your warlord, you can.
Yeah.
And like this is Bile's creations. Take Bile, weirdo. If
Yep.
you aren't taking Bile in Bile's creations, I question you.
Isn't Fabius a Emperor's Children dude?
So he was a member of the Emperor's Children, but he left because he doesn't believe in the chaos.
Oh.
He has seen them. He has witnessed them personally. He does not believe they exist.
What a weird dude. I just saw the Chaos Gods.
This man is also the only reason that, like, I'm pretty sure he's trying to make Primaris Chaos Space Marines in lore or something. Like, he is like Fabius Bile is very funny, and I want to read the Bile books because I've heard they're really good.
I need to start reading books, but like I said, I just don't have the time.
I have been forced into it because I got 2 for Christmas.
Oh well, hey, there you go.
I got Valdor and I got the Infinite and the Divine.
All right, let me know.
Anyway,
let me know how they go.
I've heard very good things about the Infinite and the Divine. I haven't heard anything about the Valdor. Anyway, so at the start of the battle, you select augmentations to be active for infantry models that aren't cultists until the end of the battle. You get to roll 2d6, or you just pick one, or if you have Fabius, you can reroll the 2d6, or just one of them. So the options are +1 to attacks for melee weapons, +2 to move, +1 to weapon skill, which is just a +1 to hit for melee that doesn't have the +1 to hit max thing, +1 toughness, +1 strength on melee, or +1 ballistic skill. These are all excellent, and you get you get 2 of them. The only downside is you don't really have to pick.
Yeah.
And this is for all of your Chaos Space Marines. Anyone that's an actual Chaos Space Marine gets this.
Yeah. All infantry, anyways.
They have also a great thing about the Night Lords books, too.
Yeah, great choices of books. Night Lord trilogy, I'd recommend. Okay, yeah.
All right. And then for enhancements, you get either precision on your melee on your character that you gave this to. You can give a Chaos Lord +1 wound and a 5-up feel no pain. You can give an aura of 12 inches of no deep strike around me.
That's
or you can give a character +1 damage on melee and rerolls to hit.
This is cracked.
Yeah, this detachment is wild. I love it.
I do too.
I love the Bile Casino ability. That is so fun.
just the mere fact, yeah. It's like, hey, I'm not gonna pick mine. I'm just gonna roll to see what I get. And isn't there like some Chaos Marines that actually have like a high toughness, and then you just
like you can just run Chaos Space Marine Terminators. You can run Obliterators with.
Is there
have
a Chaos?
You seen what an Obliterator looks like?
No, I haven't. But are you able to? Is there a Chaos Lord that can attach to Terminators?
Yeah, there's the Chaos Terminator Lord.
Oh,
Chaos
well,
Lord and Terminator armor.
maybe if I looked at datasheet names, I might be able to find it. Oh yeah, Chaos Lord and Terminator armor. Oh good god.
His rule is kind of redundant because like that's on all of the Chaos Lords, I believe. But like, and like, actually, this guy's like
Possessed go
hilariously
bird
reminiscent
detachment.
of
Let's
the
take a look up.
Chaos or of like the Terminator Shield Captain and Custodes. Because both the Shield Captain, Custodes, and the Chaos Lord here, both the Terminator ones have a rule that makes the character model more durable, and B, a -1 CP on a stratagem rule that can only be used once per Chaos Lord near like once per round, even though it's on every Chaos Lord. It's like the same rule set for the abilities. I find that really funny. But yeah,
All
Possessed
right.
go insane with attachment. Obliterators probably go crazy.
Okay,
Havocs.
so
You have so many good like infantry.
oh my god. Oh wow. Each time the bear's unit takes a leadership test for the Dark Pax ability, you can reroll that test. Okay. Once per battle,
For
when this
context, Dark Pax is your thing where you can take a
yeah.
battle shock test, and then if you and then get buffs, but if you fail it, you take mortals. Yeah, get
Cool.
lethals or sustained.
Chaos sounds absolutely wild. I'm happy
Yeah,
I'm going
Chaos
Emperor's
Space
Children.
Marines is such a good codex. I love the Chaos Space Marines codex. All of the detachments are at least playable, in my opinion, and a lot of them are very fun. They're all thematic because they're all based around the Chaos Space Marine legions, except for the cult one, and obviously because that's cultists. Oh, and then there's one for like Fastor. Yeah, Obliterators
Obliterators.
are only 2 mans now, which does hurt them a bit, but like they're still
E.
cool, so I don't care.
Rule of cool, man. Rule of cool. So yeah, yeah. All right. Well, I guess we can.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this
Go.
is a S tier. Like for this, I love this attachment. It's strong, it's fun, it's so good. Moving on to Drukari. I'm not sure. Okay, so I've
Uh.
seen people saying this is like one of the stronger ones they've released for this.
But
And
hey, at least they have another detachment they can work with.
they already had another attachment though. They already
Oh,
had two.
oh yeah, that's right. Because the
Because they
first
made this
attachment
attachment
was
this all one
so
because
bad.
Real Space Raiders was so terrible. Anyway, Talos competition. So basically, so you're encouraged to soup half of your army into Harlequin. I don't think you do that.
No.
But basically, how this works is whoever last killed a unit between Drukari and Harlequins, all the other ones have rerolls to hit. So if Harlequins killed something recently, then Drukari have a rerolls to hit, and if Drukari killed something recently, then Harlequins are. Now, my issue with this, a lot of people read this and was like, "Oh, that's so good," but I'm seeing this and I'm thinking, are Harlequins good at all? Because I think a lot of people who's like played Harlequins in this edition, really. Because the thing is
That's
with Harlequins,
that's
they have like a
that's a good
history.
question.
Harlequins have a history for being like so. Harlequins are supposed to be like the custodians of Eldar, power wise, basically. Like canonically,
Yeah.
they've gone into the throne room and fucked with custodies and gotten out alive just fine.
Huh.
But and last edition they had their own in the Eldar Codex, and their entire rules were just like we cheat. We're like our data sheets aren't that good, but that's okay because we're ignoring the core rules of the game.
Yeah. Okay. So
But now they don't have that. And if you look at the troop, which is like the base infantry for Harlequins and the only infantry Harlequins aside from characters, actually, they have mediocre melee.
huh.
There are
Yeah.
some good Harlequins units. I like the Solitaire, but that's a single character. He's called Solitaire. You get one.
Well, since neither of us really understand the Drukari stuff, want to just move on then?
So I want to talk about this a little more because
Okay.
the
Yeah. Go ahead.
idea of being able to re-roll all of the hit roll for all your Drukari is really good. And there is a potential world where you bring a couple Harlequins, like maybe the Solitaire or like the Void Weaver or Sky Weavers or whatever. Like a Void Weaver, a couple Void Weavers, and like a Solitaire, and then you just use them to kill something once in a while to give Drukari a constant reroll to hits, and that's just really, 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 really good at that point.
Sniper guy and Ivrain's combo. What, Luke? What's that?
Sniper. I don't know of any Harlequin snipers. Death Jester? No.
Possibly.
Shadow Seer? No, it's not the Troop Master. Not the Shadow Seer. Yeah, I've no idea who you're talking about here. It's a sniper guy. And
Hmm.
then many Drakari snipers.
Well,
Also, you
anyways,
can't run.
so
You
carry
run.
on.
So yeah, you don't play this attachment where they want you to, where you bring like half Harlequins, half Drakari.
Yeah, probably like a couple units of a Harlequin.
Yeah. Yeah, I think if you bring a couple of their tanks and use that to kill the, it's pretty good actually. But otherwise, I think a lot of people saw this and they remember what Harlequins used to be, even though they haven't seen any Harlequins now anymore. And then they're like, "Oh yeah, this is super good." Even though Harlequins lost all of their sauce because they aren't allowed to cheat anymore.
Oh, okay. Death Jester guy is good, and Ivrain has a melee combo, but nothing else is good, or rather, he was very good. He's Eldar.
Yeah.
Oh.
The Death Jester
Oh.
is the Harlequin, which is like what you're allowed to soup here. Yvraine is not Harlequin, so she can't come here.
No, she
She just
can't.
kind of has to sit on the bench.
Yep.
She's Yanari, but Yanari is something you get to soup Drukari into Eldar, not vice versa.
Yeah. Isn't she also the one who souped up Gilliman? Or helped?
Yeah, I believe you've worked with Gilliman before.
Ah, okay.
I'm pretty sure she's supposed to be like,
All
yeah,
good,
like
Luke,
the
all
reason why, like, yeah, we just want to kill the Chaos God. We just want to kill Slanesh. You can help us with that.
Yeah.
Well, reasonable for Warhammer. The overall, I think this might be good if you can run like a few Void Weavers with it, but like you don't run this with Harlequins, actually.
Yeah.
Alright, moving on to Eldari Armored Warhost. I don't know.
Eldari, carrying on. Orcs!
Yeah, Orcs. This is a fun one. I'm sorry, I have nothing to say for Eldar. It's just
Neither do I.
Eldar.
Sorry.
She could lead troops, maybe. I don't think so. Yeah, she can lead troops, but she can't come into an army. But she can't come with the Harlequins because she doesn't have the Harlequins keyword. So you still don't get the super into Drukari, but she is allowed to attach to troops.
Yeah. All right. Listen here.
This is fun.
All right.
All right.
I just love orcs in general because they're just, to me, they are the comic relief of Warhammer.
Yeah, orcs are so classic. They're literally in all of the Warhammers. I don't think that the only other faction that can say that is demons.
Once per battle round in your command phase, after being set up onto the battlefield in your movements phase, each boss, Nikrot, mech, and war boss model in your army can issue tactics abilities. I love how they spell that. To do so, select one or two of the tactics abilities. All right. Orcs within 6 inches. Get stuck in. You can reroll charge rolls made for this unit. That's great. Add 1 to the strength characteristic of melee weapons equipped by models in this unit. Also great. Because they're already tough, or already strong.
Yeah.
Sneaky stalking. What? Infantry and mounted models in this unit have this stealth ability, and each time a ranged attack targets this unit, those models have the benefit of cover against the attack. Good God! Each time an infantry or mounted model in this unit makes a ranged attack, add 1 to the hit roll.
This is huge because orcs shoot on 5s.
That's right. We got daggers. We got daggers.
To 4s, which is tolerable. So all of your orc shooting is balanced around the fact that you don't hit. So now if you actually do hit it, it's pretty good. Because you fire a lot of bullets normally, so now you're actually landing them.
Wow.
Now, notably, you can either choose 1 tactic or choose 2 tactics, but if you choose 2, you have to make a leadership test, and if you fail, you take D3 mortals.
It's all right if we get our stuff. Just get those darkers in there.
Also, for some reason, Storm Boys get battle line here. This is just a generic, like, general detachment for orc infantry. but for some reason we get Storm Boys as battle line. Fuck it, why not?
Let me look at Storm
It's
Boys
funny.
real quick. So
Storm
that's not.
Boys are like the jump pack orcs. They get
Oh,
rockets taped
jump
to their
pack.
backs.
Oh my. Okay, this. Okay, yeah. That. Oh wow.
They're just boys with choppas that have rockets taped to their backs, and they can charge in a turn where they advance because they have rockets taped to their backs. So why wouldn't they be able to?
This is fun and brutal. It already sounds like it, Luke. This is like.
Yeah.
And then we have
All
the
right.
enhancements. Declare. While leading command unit, it has the infiltrate and stealth ability. Okay.
Notably, Commando's already had that. You're just giving that to the war boss so that he doesn't turn theirs off.
Ah. Oh, right.
Because that's how it specifically is for infiltrators and stealth. If the entire unit lacks it, if like one model unit lacks it, then it just doesn't work for the whole unit.
Right. Right.
Big
Big
Mac
Mac.
models only. You continue. I'll let you.
During the declare battle staff, the bearer can be attached to Flash Gets unit. Okay.
Flash kits are the orc funny shoot ones. They have 10 guns taped together into one gun.
Oh my god. Like orcs are fun. I don't know why I didn't. I'm still trying to figure
They're
out.
like the heavy bolters, basically.
Yeah. I'm still trying to figure out why I didn't go for orcs. Instead, I went for Tyranids, and I'll be like, oh right, I wanted something cool. Wait, hold on, orcs are cool.
Also, you got Leviathan.
Yeah, I got the Leviathan box, which was a great introduction to the Warhammer, and I'm happy about it.
Yeah, Leviathan was a very good box.
And yeah, and I'm kind of if I am to get into AOS, I am kind of looking at the Skaventide box.
Skaventide is an amazing box. You get like it comes with so much for Skaven, it's unreal.
Yep. Flash kits can hit real hard with that enhancement and detachment rule.
Yeah, because you're giving them a +1 to hit from 5 to 4.
And they have sustained hits.
No, the heavy hit doesn't work. But yeah, you get sustained hits. You get to re-roll your hit roll to shoot. You're hitting on 4s. Notably, Flash kits get +1 shot if they're targeting the closest unit with their gun. Huh. And once per battle, you can you can give them lethal hits, just as a thing they do.
This unit can be equipped with 1 ammo runt. What is an ammo runt?
An ammo runt lets you kill it, and if you do, you get lethal hits. You just kill it on the spot. It's not a real person. It's just a representative.
Oh, okay. Once per one of those units is selected to shoot, you can use this ability if it does until the end of the phase. Range weapons equipped by models in this unit have the lethal abilities. Wow. Okay.
So lethal hits, sustained hits 1, hitting on 4s with full hit rerolls, with 6 strength, 1 AP, 2 damage. And that is really good.
I'm a big fan of lethal sustain combos. If you can remember my combo with the Palatine and Sacrosanct.
Also, I just want to show you what a flash kit looks like. I'm just going to post it in the Warhammer channel on the Discord real quick.
Oh my god.
Look at his gun. It is 10 guns. It has a motorcycle engine.
And due to weird orc shenanigans, it works.
Even orcs think these guys are overkill, and they don't care.
The orcs are cunning and brutal. Go can walk the moon.
All right. And then you get, this is a really huge enhancement, where instead of having a 6-inch range for your tactics, you have 18 inches. That is 3 times the size. For 10 points. You always run this.
Yeah. Yeah, oh my god. Let's look at stratagems. Okay. That's ours. That's just in a sticky objective, which is nice.
No, it's not stickies, it's +1 OC. So
+1 OC. Okay.
If you're outmatched in controlling an objective, you can just spend 1 CP and say, no, I'm not. My boys get +1 OC. And I have 20 boys, so I win.
I glanced over it, saw objective control, and went, okay, it's just a sticky, and then you was like, no. Oh, right. Read the whole thing, Z, and then you can get the gist of it.
You can give 1 orc infantry or mounted unit +1, sorry, not +1, same hits or lethal hits in melee.
Oh, okay.
That's really good.
Hey,
You
I'm gonna
can-
target my flash gits with that. Thank you very much.
It's only in melee.
Oh, it's only melee. Oh, like I
Also,
said,
they already get sustained and lethal. Tactical retreat lets
Luke,
you fall
careful
back
with the
and
language,
then shoot and
please.
charge. So that's just really good. You can fall back, shoot with your something, and then charge. Or you can fall back and charge or fall back and shoot. It doesn't matter.
And
Do whatever you want.
Stretch is so good too. It looks very fun to play. Yeah, this.
Yeah, this is another S tier. Like, they were cooking around this period in time. Like, Creation's Bile, Tactical Brigade. Okay, I guess that's it. This is like my 2 super S tiers. But still, these are all really good.
All right, Astra Militarum. Unless you have
This
something
is-
else to say about orcs.
Nope, Pog. That's what I have to say about works. It's Pog.
Love it.
So, I remember there being a lot of. I'm gonna go take a quick break, just like grab some water and rest my throat.
Yep, all
actually.
good. All good. This would be a great time for everybody to do the same. I'm gonna go ahead and raise my desk, and I'm gonna run a few minutes with the VADs. So that way, which I probably should have done that a little bit ago. So this would be a great time for y'all to take yourselves a little bit of break, snack, eat, drink, do what you need to do, and we will be back here in the next 3 to 5 minutes. BRB.
Yep. I just got back.
Hey, synchronization. We're back. All right.
Got a bottle of water with me instead of just like a bottle of Mountain Dew. which
Sounds like
really,
you got
really
some
does not
candy,
help. Oh,
candy over there too.
yeah, I've got a thing of Tic Tacs.
Ah. All right.
Oh.
So, Astra Militarum.
This was another one of the things that I like thought about for a while, and I don't remember. Check the Warhammer chat so I can see if I said about it.
time. It's time to scroll up to the era of detachments and discussions because it's a
All
lot.
right. So, notably, this is the Scion detachment. Tempest with Scions, and the first rule doesn't do anything for Scions because they already did that.
Huh. That's hilarious.
The second rule does obviously do things for Scions because it name drops them. It says Tempestus. I don't believe Scions have Deep Strike. Let me check. Actually, they may. I'm not John Guard, so I need to double check real quick.
John Guard.
They do have Deep Strike. Okay, so that's really good for them because they have full rules to hit people who are on an objective too. So full rules to hit, +1 to wound on hot shotguns, which are pretty good for shot standards. You also get like a plasma gun or like a melta gun with them.
The Militarum Tempest officer model from your army is your warlord. What would that? What would that?
That would be literally only the Tempestus command squad.
Huh.
Now, notably, the Tempestus command squad already gives them battle line if he's your warlord. So I'm going to assume that that's not going to be the case once the guard. I'm going to assume he will no longer do that, and you will need attachment from.
Probably. Maybe, yeah, maybe they'll be making more Tempestist officer characters.
No, we already know that they're focusing on Krieg.
Ah, okay.
They did drop a Tempestus Aquilon's kill team, so there is more Tempestus than just Scions.
Oh, nice.
And they also don't have that rule to hit, so they get both of the benefits. Their guns are worse because they're not. They don't get like all the special guns. They have like they still have hot shot stuff, but like they don't have plasma gun. They have a carbine. They have a melta carbine. Like it's still okay. It's just not as good as the Scion's guns. I don't think.
Gotcha. All right, so we really don't have much else to talk about for guard. Okay, let's just go over to the
There's not really knowledgeable about it, but I think this is probably pretty good if you want to play. If you want to play like a bunch of Scions and a bit of Kazarkin.
Wow. Oh my God. 3 of the enhancements for Tempestus officers only. Jesus. Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's almost like this is Tempestus or something. You're supposed to be playing Tempestus.
There's only one Tempestus.
All right.
All right.
It's time to get into the hell of demons. We're starting off strong though, because we're starting with the only good one. Excess.
Legion of Excess. This is the Slanesh one.
Yes.
All right, and
Now,
units.
notably, playing any demons as one is pretty rough, because like you know what units you have that aren't characters in Slanesh?
Not very much.
Demons, Seeker Chariots, Exalted Seeker Chariots, Seekers, Fiends, the Hellflayer, which I'm pretty sure is a Seeker Chariot, and the Soul Grinder, which any demon is just neutral. So, yeah. But if you do want to play Mono Slanesh, this is like the only good mono god demon detachment.
All the other ones are less like meh.
No, actually, one of them is probably straight up hurts you. Actually.
Oh God.
We'll get to Zinch. Zinch was not treated well this year. Santa did not like Zinch.
No.
All right.
Poor Zinch.
So,
he just
Slanesh, units from your army can charge and fall back. That's good.
That is good. Really good.
And Slanesh units from your army have the following ability. Each time this unit ends a charge move, you can declare that it will perform a seductive gambit. If you do, until the end of the turn, turn, the unit does not get fights first from the charge, but instead, each unmodeled unit makes an attack, you have full rerolls to hit and wound. So I really like this just from a perspective of hubris, because this is encouraging you to play really risky. Because Slanesh is not tanky. Slanesh is made of wet paper.
Says yeah. That's
So if you think you can handle not getting that fight, having the chance for your opponent to kill that thing before you fight with it, if you think that you will live and manage to, then you will get to be very, very powerful just with the regular secret chariot.
I'm yeah.
Because that thing has dev wounds, anti-infantry 4-up on a charge, full rerolls. It will kill infantry.
That beware, my monsters are beautiful, which means they're probably deadly. So
Alright. For enhancements, you can either get a +1 to wound aura, a +1 to hit aura. None of these apply to the Keeper of Secrets, by the way.
oh,
You can give a Keeper of Secrets, if it is alone, a reroll to advance rolls, reroll to charge rolls, and ignore any or all modifiers with advanced charge rolls made for the bearer.
huh.
And then Soul Glutton, this one's okay. If Keeper of Secrets fights at the end of the fight phase, if it killed any models, it can use as enhancement and heal D3 loss. Okay. That's fine. The stratagems are fun. So, how do you write a defensive stratagem for the faction that likes pain? Simply make it so that someone else is taking the pain instead.
Select one.
If you have your chariot that you want to protect but didn't give fights first, you can have all of the damage it takes ping pong over to the local demonettes instead with Thieves of Pain.
Oh my god.
Our
Wow.
antagonist gives you a +1 to wound in case you weren't wounding somehow.
Somehow, yeah.
Even though you already have an aura that can give it with your enhancement, rerolls to wound with your thing. You can use your command phase to. So you remember Shadows of the Warped, right? For Tyranids?
Yes.
You make all your enemy units do a battle shock test.
Yep.
Here's another hubris check. What if we made every unit roll? All of them. Now remember, in Demons, if you're in your Shadow of Chaos, and if you roll a battle shock test and make it, you heal. And if your enemy makes one and fails it, they take damage. So this is encouraging you to try and use that. And you actually might get some value out of it with this. But also, what if you lose? What if you lose? What if you get all battle shocked? But what if I don't? What if I succeed every battle shock test and my opponent fails them all? Surely this will happen. I am not being cocky. I will roll this. It's a very, very, very funny strategy. And you know what the funniest part is? It doesn't say once per game.
Yeah, it is.
You can use this every command phase. Should you? No, you can. Well, all of your command phases. All right. In your movement phase or your charge phase, you can phase through terrain features with a unit.
That's nice.
This is on every demon one.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, not on the base one, but all of the god ones.
Okay.
I can check though real quick.
Anyways, then there's blades. Select one unit enemy unit engagement range of your unit. Reroll the roll 1d6 for each model. Oh.
That's basically just tank shock for any unit.
Golly, why?
Or like grenades, I guess, kind of, since like you get grenades on demons.
I will definitely say I am very sad that Tyranids do not have either one of those stratagems available.
Yeah, Tyranids don't. It's stupid that monsters don't get tank.
Yeah,
what they really should.
It's weird. It's so weird. Like,
and then
I can understand. I can kind of understand the grenades one because it's not like they can just pop a grenade out unless it's like a weird bioform ball that comes out of their ass.
All right, so and then there's overwhelming excess. So if a unit from your army is selected as a target of a shooting attack, you can use this and then make the attacker make a battle shock test with a -1. If it succeeds, every time it shoots at your unit, it has a -1 to hit. If it fails, it has to pick someone else to shoot, and it's battle shocked, and probably takes D3 mortals because you're in demons.
Just for once, Battle Shock really matters.
Yeah, this is actually like using battle shock well. I think is like there's other things happening with this aside from roll battle shock Lamau,
Right?
and there's still effects that happen even if you don't make the battle shock. Either way, is just helping you not die. I really like this detachment. This is both probably a pretty good detachment and also really fun. I mean, at the end of the day, you're still playing mono demons, but hey. All right, and then let's move to the worst one, scintillatingly. I don't need to look at anything else in this detachment. We just need to read the army rule, and then I want to show you and then I want to tell you how many units actually benefit from this. All right, just
You
read this
st-
out loud.
All right. You start the battle with 3 flux tokens. You can spend 1 flux token just after an advance roll, hit roll, wound roll, damage roll, saving throw, or hazardous test. Almost miracle dice esque. It is made for Legioness Demonica Zinch model or Legioness Demonica Zinch, a unit from your army to reroll the result of that roll. Throw or test. Flux tokens can also be spent to enhance the effects of some stratagems. Each time you spend a flux token, reducing the number of flux tokens you have by 1, and your opponent gains 1 flux token. Your opponent gains a flux token? What?
Yes,
Necron,
and then
hello,
those do the
buddy.
same thing for advance rolls, hit rolls, or wound rolls, or saving throws.
Huh.
So you're constantly bouncing back and forth the ability to reroll individual dice because you're just rolling the one die.
Interesting. Yeah, it's just one. It's just one save. Whenever your opponent has 1 or more flux tokens, they can spend one flux token after an advanced roll. If they do, they reduce the number of flux tokens they have and send it over to the opponents. Okay. In your command phase,
Right
if your
now,
opponent
let's stop and think about this for a second, right? So let's now, if you have a thing that lets you reroll one die, you're going to use it to reroll a big attack, right?
Yes.
How many Zinch demon units do you think have a big low shot count attack?
1.
One. Would you like to know which one it is?
Which one?
The fucking Soul Grinder.
All right, let me look at Soul Grinder.
This isn't even a Zinch unit, it's a neutral unit keyword. It has the Warp Blast, which is like a D3 shot las cannon, effectively.
Wait. There's no pure Zinch demons?
Correct. If you want to play this attachment, you run 3 Soul Grinders. The only unit that cares about the individual diary that I am reading this at least. I could just be mistaken, but I don't think I am. So the
Okay.
Zinch one gets the Warp Gaze gun, and the Warp Gaze gun is really good actually. But
Cool.
none of the other Zinch units care. And now you're giving that reroll over to your opponent, and your opponent probably does have a low shot count, high damage weapon, like a las cannon. Or maybe a Dark Lance. Or maybe whatever the Khorne Lord of Skulls has on it.
That's
That is
that's
not a demon.
actually really hilarious. Is there really no actual Zinch demon models at all? Like,
Most Zinch demon models have like low let's look at like the Lord of Change. Its gun is 9 attacks, 2 up, and 9 strength, 2 AP, D3. That's not a heavy weapon, that's a medium weapon. Like it's high strength, but it's not that high strength as where it's killing tanks.
no, they're basically running kind of
You're not
into.
re-rolling shots here. Also, if you do that, you're hazardous, and like that seems out of character. Zinch would never be hazardous.
Yeah,
Zinch knows
no,
what he's
thank
doing.
you.
Yeah, so this just hurts you because the enemy cares more about the benefit than you do, and you're giving both people the benefit. Blood
Yeah.
Legion, there's not much to say. It's just kind of anti-synergistic. You get to like do surge moves if anyone goes near you, and then also you get bonuses if you charge with some things, which is like both it's like a corn thing and also some enhancements and stuff do that. But if you surge move into engagement range, then you charge, so you don't get those benefits, which is weird.
Huh.
Otherwise, it's fine. They have a really fun thing where, like, if you kill a unit on an objective, then you sticky that objective because you've tainted it with their blood and your corn.
Oh, right. Corn doesn't
And that's
care.
fun for flavor, but like the surge move thing is just kind of anti-synergistic with wanting to charge to get off a lance or blood crusher effects.
Hmm. Yeah. Well, and
Like blood
then
crushers do mortals when they charge, and that kind of thing. And then finally, Plague Legion.
while an enemy unit is within 9 inches of one or more Legion Demonica Nurgle units from your army, that enemy unit is within your army's Shadow of Chaos. In each player's command phase, select one enemy unit within your army's Shadow of Chaos that you must take a battle shock test. Okay.
Now, notably, the Shadow of Chaos is like the control thing. It's like the same thing with. You already have this by default. That is your army rule, but it's just making it so that you emit a 9-inch aura of it on enemies only. You aren't in with your own Shadow of Chaos from that aura.
Ah.
It's weird, and I don't like it. And again, people take mortals if they fail battle shock, but like that's your whole detachment rule.
Huh. Weird.
It's not good. Nothing else here is really like worth looking at. It's just, I'm pretty sure I hear that like Nurgle demons were apparently like so overpowered that they had to like nerf them into the ground before this. All right, so remember all the way back at the start that scenario we had with the Death Guard?
Yeah.
It's kind of happened again, except way worse.
Ooh.
So, with the Voton detachment, so Voton have trouble actually applying their army rule, the Judgment. Judgment gives them a +1 to hit if someone has 1 stack of it, +2 and +1 to wound if someone has 2 stacks of it, alongside the +1 to hit. If you have both stacks active, that's really good. But the issue is you apply it really slowly. There's only 2 ways to apply it without a detachment rule of some sort. Either 1, have a unit die. The person who killed them gets 1 stack of Judgment. Or 2, once per turn, I believe it's actually in your hero phase only. Yeah, once per your hero phase, 1 call unit in your army, 1 character. If you take 2 of that character, only 1 can do it, can apply 1 Judgment to a unit. Your army hits on 4s, and you are balanced around the idea that you are.
So this is wow, okay.
Now, to fix this, they made it so that with your other detachment, at the start of the battle, you get to pick several units to start at 2 detachment, to start at 2 Judgment.
Huh.
And if you kill any of those units, you get 3 CP, which is really good. Here, you don't have that. So you're starting from square 1. Now, notably, this is based around Einhir Hearth, who are already hit on 3s, but now you want them to be hitting on 2s, Judgment, and that takes a lot of work because you don't get to apply Judgment very well. And this is entirely attachment call or Hearthguard. And you take multiple calls too, even though you can only use 1 ability from them per turn.
Hmm.
So there's neat ideas here, but you just don't get to apply Judgment, so who cares? Because you just lost your army rule. Or you could be over in the other detachment and actually get your army. Because they buffed up the detachment and not the army rule.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is just another Death Guard case. There's nothing really to talk about here.
All right.
Voton are just a very, very, very scuffed. Kind of fucked it up. I have a Voton player who's like my friend mains Voton. She's very unhappy with the state of them, and she's very unhappy with this attachment because you just don't get to use Judgment because you need that for Judgment. Anyways, Gene Sealer Cults. This one's really weird. It's kind of yours.
Yes, it's fluff. That's all it is.
Because not necessarily, because honestly, you can kind of get some good things going here. +1 to hit is good on a horror. Like imagine, like Guard can get a +1 to hit from.
Sorry.
That's really strong for them. That's the thing they do.
I tossed something on my other desk and thought I broke something. We're good.
Uh,
But yeah,
so anyway,
yes. This
I don't think it's
army,
just fluff because getting like boosts to hit and stuff is pretty good.
yeah, it's good.
Especially in an attachment that hits, especially in an army that hits on 4s, both like the thing you're suping and you do. And you're bringing over like all of like some of the strongest Tyranids units, really.
Vanguard
And you
only.
get to have half your army be that.
Yeah.
Now, I
The
don't
issue
want
I
to go all the way over
sorry,
this
sorry.
because I thought about this a lot the first time, and my brain has now lost all of that information that I've retained.
Trust me, it's Warhammer. Of course, our brains are gonna lose all the information.
Yeah, but you can get a lot of good things going with this. The issue is you're in an army that already had it as sweeping 1,000 points. You already have Brood Brothers. There's already a detachment called Brood Brothers. It's not even another one of this. It's like it's probably strong and it's really fluffy, but like you just want normal detachments.
Yes,
You only
please.
had 4 in your codex. One of them was one that was exactly like this.
And
then you get another one like
yeah, and the issue I'm seeing with this detachment is kind of the issue we saw with the Chaos Knight detachment. Is you're gonna run out of units before, and then this detachment's not gonna be. Then most of the rules for this detachment's not exactly going to come into play very much.
I will say I don't think that's too big of an issue because you do get to revive them. That is.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
They just die. Additionally, also side note, I find it really funny that you don't get to buff Gene Stealers with this, like the actual unit of Gene Stealer in your Gene Stealers cults, and you also don't get to bring over Gene Stealers and Tyranids. You cannot use the Gene Stealers in this attachment based on the in this Gene Stealer cult faction because neither sides of it get benefit from it. I find that really funny. Anyway,
Interesting.
the thing is, like, you get really, 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 really strong Tyranids here, and like, if you're playing this detachment, you're not playing Gene. You're playing Tyranids who eat the Gene Stealer cults.
Yes.
Because they're like the workhorses of this. And I find that really weird. This is a very strange detachment. It's probably effective, but it's really weird and I don't like it.
Yes.
Also, one last thing. There is no rule saying that you have to do the psionic parasitism to something that actually has a brain.
Psionic parasitism
Tank is a valid target. You can sap the mind of your forward F-150. Because there's absolutely nothing on the rules saying that you are not allowed to do this effect to the rock grinder. So you can sap the mind of a Goliath rock grinder. Why?
Oh. So basically, you'd soup up a list of Gene Stealers that regen and have feel no pains.
It's not really regens, but there is feel no pains. You can bring. Aberrants are great, though they're not as good as they were, and they're really expensive for what they are, actually.
Yeah.
They used to be tankier. They used to have a 4-up Film of Pain, and then they took that away, because I think they took everything from Gene Stealers in the go.
Yeah, this is definitely one of those detachments where, okay, you might as well have just been a Tyranids detachment, not a Gene Stealer detachment.
Yeah, nothing would change. Straight up, nothing would change.
Yeah.
Which I think is very unfortunate. I guess things would change in that you don't... But, nah. Either way, I don't like this. It's probably good. I'm sure there are people going to play it and they're going to have fun, but yeah, I personally dislike it.
Yeah, I see that. I see people will still have fun with it. Be like, hey, I have this. Let's see how many Gene Stealers die to my to their Star Lords.
All right, on to yours. This is Sisters now.
This is a great detachment. The downside is they nerf Miracle Dice.
Yeah, this was a great detachment for old Sisters.
Yes. Now, with that nerf though, for a lot of Sisters players, I will be an outlier and say I actually don't mind the rule. It was needed because we were just having so many Miracle Dice just coming into our pool. I saw
people writing haikus about how stupid Sisters were.
Yeah. Yeah, it got out of hand. The Miracle Dice effect really got out of hand. And this rule change, I actually don't mind at all. There's only one change that I wish they would have added. They actually one change that they didn't implement. And that's they implemented once per at the start of the round and not each player's turn, which I wish they would have kept at the beginning of each player's turn. Then I
I
think it
think
would have
they
been
also
perfectly.
could maybe capped it at a couple deaths per round or per phase, because having it kept at 1 means that against some armies you just kind of. Because if I'm against Tau, they're not meleeing me, and if I'm against World Leaders, they're not shooting me. So
Yeah,
I'm only getting 1 Miracle Dice on their turn, not 2
yeah, pretty much.
from each phase, which sucks. But then also, this detachment is written for Old Sisters. Discard up to 3 of your Miracle Dice. That is all of the. That is more than all of the Miracle Dice you are allowed to gain in 1 turn
Pretty
for
much,
some
yeah.
armies. You can gain up to 3 Miracle Dice on your opponent's turn, and then that's it. That's the amount you can get, period.
Yeah.
Unless you're somehow dying in your charge phase, you're only getting 3.
There's also the movement phase. If the unit, the entire unit dies in their
Overwatch, or like if you get killed with charge. But like those are esoteric cases.
or if
Most of the
they're
time, if
battle,
you're
if they're
against an army that shoots and fights, you're gonna get 3 Miracle Dice in 1 turn. And this is asking you to discard 3 Miracle Dice
yeah,
for 1 inch of movement, 1 leadership, and +1 to hit.
yes, it
If this
is.
old system would be really good, but it's not. So
For me, this is definitely that detachment where I need to do test gameplays to see if it actually does still is great and is still good.
I've got
I
a
do,
bio detachment. Like I got like a bio list sitting around. I could like run that against you at some if you want. You can see how
yeah,
it
sure.
goes.
Yeah, but I do actually like the fact that they buffed the sacristans a little bit. Yeah, they
Well,
didn't.
you like the sections, and I'm pretty sure you
Oh,
ran
I
those
love
against
the sacristans.
the Blood Angels list.
Yeah, they didn't buff. They buffed their OC, but they didn't buff much else about them. This
Yeah.
is definitely the sacristans detachment, though. You're probably taking at least two full squads of sacristans, maybe one if you can get away with it, but probably at least two, maybe full three.
Not sure about
Uh,
full 3, but you are taking plenty.
you're definitely taking plenty. Now to note, because there is a the enhancements, there's only one I really care. There's only one that's actually decently all right, and that's Market of Devotion. Adds one to the attack characters of melee weapon. And if it's they're righteous, increase that to 2, and they gain 1 damage. It's a little overcosted, but it's probably the enhancement that you take anyways. All the others, it doesn't exactly care. Eyes of Oracle is okay. Precision, you probably implement that onto the Palatine and charge her with a unit of sacristans up at a unit with an attached character, and boom, bada bing. Hey, I just killed your character, and I got a CP out of it. But that's if Judith hadn't gained me and my CP already. The Sanctified Amulet is all right, giving it 12 inches of deep strike protection, and with the deep strike rule update, I'm not sure how it affects that
It doesn't.
widely. Yeah,
Because this already like overwrote things that said you can deep strike with 3 or 6.
yeah.
So this doesn't change that at all, but this is still really good if you want to like keep pesky and scepters out of your backline.
Triptych of Judgment, that's very situational. I see that only really good against Death Guard.
Also, the mental image of someone carrying around an entire triptych to a fight is really funny.
Hey, they carry around
There's
Saint Celestine.
like
No, not Saint.
3 paintings together. How are you carrying that into a fight?
Look at the Triumph of Saint Catherine.
True, but that's a big thing. This is one person you're giving it to.
Oh, this is one person. Oh, that's true. Still, they're sisters of battle. They'll find a way. Stratagems, all of them are great. Most of them, yes, depend on righteous, but you're really only ever doing combat with your righteous unit anyways. Like,
ideally, it is
ideally,
inexpensive cost.
the only stratagem that I really do not care for at all is Shield of Denial.
Yeah, because that's awful. What in the world? 6 up, feel the pain against mortal wounds.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Army of Faith, instantly already better. They don't have to be righteous to get it. It's a 5 up feel no pain, and guess what? Put it on a jump pack unit, and guess what? Everybody around that unit within 3 inches gets gets that ability.
Also, one last thought on this before I move on. I just want to say the name of this detachment is awful.
Champions of Faith.
Yeah, because
I
what's that
will.
other detachment you've been talking about comparing it to this whole time? Army of Faith.
Yes, Army of Faith is great. As a matter of fact, that's probably the detachment that really doesn't get hit too hard with the new rule because you're gaining
I
miracle
think it does
dice.
because you have to spend your whole thing is like spending 2 miracle dice in one turn.
What
You don't
with
have as many miracle dice, so it's a lot
yeah
harder to do that.
yeah
People
with
have been saying that's actually the one that got hit the most with it.
actually not really. I've been playing with that and there's really not much change because I've been ignoring that rule most of the time anyways. And so that is the detachment where it feels it's a weird detachment because the main detachment rule, you're mostly ignoring it anyways, unless you're just getting the piles of miracles that you were. Now,
If you are, how? Give me them. Tell
um,
me your secrets.
basically, there's the Litany of Faith. That's on a canoness or a palatine. Roll a leadership test. You pass that, get a miracle dice at the beginning of the command phase. You got Blade of Saint Eleanor. When you kill a model, with that this character kills a model, get a miracle dice. Okay.
A
Uh,
model?
the, yeah, not a unit,
Just
a
my
model.
unit?
Nope, not a
Which
unit.
unit is this unit?
No, it's a model.
No, what unit is this on? Sorry.
Oh, Blade of Saint Eleanor. Anyone, any character.
Oh, it's an enhancement. Hold on.
Yeah,
Let
it's
me
an
see the
enhancement. Yes,
command phase.
Litanies of Faith, Blade of Saint Eleanor, and Divine Aspect are all enhancements. They all give you miracle dice. Divine Aspect is your opponent takes a battle shock test, and if they fail, you gain a miracle dice.
Oh, if one or more enemy models are destroyed. I thought I was gonna flip my lid.
Yeah.
If it's one or more models were destroyed. I thought it was per model destroyed.
Oh
From the
no,
way you're
not per
saying.
model. It's just when this character kills one or more models. Yes,
Okay.
and
Because I was
then
gonna
you
say,
have
no wonder you guys had so many.
and then there's the stratagems. Two of the stratagems give you miracle dice. Divine Guidance gives you an extra AP. Kill one or more models, gain a miracle dice. Faith and Fury, gain Lance. Kill one or more models, gain a miracle dice.
I had underrated that. I didn't realize how many miracles.
Yeah, Army of Faith. You're just
The,
gaining
the
a
point I was just trying to make was that this is a terrible name because attachments end in of faith.
Army of Faith. Army rule doesn't really come into play a lot now, especially with the new rule. But it's the army that really actually doesn't exactly care about the new rule. It still does because now the detachment rule is pointless, and it's just I have a bunch of enhancement and stratagems that are great, but it's still gaining you a lot. Or still gaining with that attachment alone. You're actually still gaining a lot of miracle dice.
Mhm.
So now, like yeah, and but yeah, so I will say that like Army of Faith, I feel is probably the main detachment to go to now. I am or Bringers of Flame. I will say that got hit probably a little too hard,
Yeah. Shoutouts to just being a worse version of a Space Marine.
right?
Literally the exact same, but the numbers are worse.
Yeah. Anyways, I suppose we can carry on with that now because I've spoken my piece about it.
All right. Blood Angel Detachment. I looked at
Yay!
this and I read the rules and was like, okay, that's probably pretty good or something. I kind
Nope.
of don't care because it's so boring.
Yeah.
It's just like, okay, yeah, I get to pick units that have characters attached to them. I pick 2 of the abilities on this until the end of the battle, and they have to get shoot and charge on fallback, reroll hit rolls and wound rolls of 1, or reroll advance and charge rolls made. These are all very strong effects. But
But
counterpoint, I want to hit people really hard with chain swords, and my base attachment does that. That's why I'm here.
right.
I'm here to turn people into julienne fries with chain swords. I want to use Liberator Assault Group and gain +1 attack and +2 strength on chain swords. Or I want to use whatever. Yeah, I want to full rerolls on wounds with Death Company.
Yeah, I will say like some of their
Wait,
stuff
no,
is.
that's the stupid Crusher Stampede effect again.
Yeah.
God.
I will say like there are a couple things in here that's perfectly I actually don't mind, and that's the one of them being the enhancement blazing icon. Yeah, they can't be Overwatch now, which is nice.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Hey,
I'm
Armor of
skeptic
Contempt.
to, like, get in.
Yeah, they do have focused fury, which is nice.
I believe this is also one of the ones that has a no. It does not have an extra defensive one. It's just Army of Contempt, but not for the whole phase. They get a stance 1 on shooting, which I mean, yeah, sure, we are still Space Marines. Sure, why not? We do have shooting if we are melee focused.
Yep.
Lethal hits and lance if you have a character in your unit. That's strong. Helps wound.
So you're pretty much this attachment basically is making you
18-inch. No, don't shoot me aura if you within 18 inches of them.
Yeah, this detachment is hey, you need more characters to play this.
Yeah. I mean, attaching a bunch of characters in Space Marine, billion lieutenants, put them together, but the effects of this are practical but boring, so I don't like it. I want my attachments to be fun. I don't care if they're strong.
Right.
I mean, I care if they're weak, but they don't have to be like super OP for me to like them. I just want things
Yeah,
that are
like
cool.
look at the Gene Stealers.
Yeah, like the
Orcs and Gene
Gene
Stealers,
Stealers
yeah.
went too far in the other direction where they're like way too fluffy to the point where it's okay, I don't, because I want something that's a little more practical because I don't really have that as an option.
Look at Fabius Bile.
Yeah, Biles was perfect. Orcs was perfect. Even like the Abmech was great for that. The guard one was still fine for that. Like, I'd be fine with like a guard as detachment for this, but it's just
Yeah.
All
All right.
Tau. I've slightly dabbled in Tau. So a few issues with this. Number one, so Tau give any Kroot or Vespids nearby defensive thing if they like not being able to be shot unless the target is within 18 inches. So unless they attack within 18 inches, sorry. And then Kroot and Vespids give nearby Tau +1 not nearby Tau, nearby enemies +1 AP if they're shot at by Tau. So one, these are inherently anti-synergistic. Requires me to be close to enemies. Secondly, why do I care about keeping my Kroot alive? They're Kroot.
Yeah.
They're a horde. It's like 10 points for 8 billion Kroot carnivores.
It's
It's
another
80
one.
points for 10 Kroot hounds. You can fit how many Kroot hounds in a list?
A lot. Apparently.
You can fit 250 Kroot hounds in a list, theoretically.
Jesus.
I mean, that isn't including a leader, but like still. So like, this is cheap. These are like garbage that are meant to like be killed. So who cares if they're alive? Why would I care about defending them? Now that said, if you're sending in like Kroot hounds are really fast, like have like a bunch of Kroot hounds that are really cheap and just have them give you +1 AP. That is an option.
Yeah. Oh.
The enhancements are eh. Like getting Deep Strike on a Kroot, sure. You get to pick 3 Kroot units to get Deep Strike, okay. You can improve the OC and leadership of a new. You can give a Kroot unit for the greater good. That could be good for like guiding, I guess. Or like you can give a Tau Empire Walker, which is like a lot of your battle suits, that has Deep Strike, the ability to show up early on. But if you do that, they have to be within Vespids or Kroot range. So overall, like I guess if you play this as like Tau, where I send in a bunch of dogs, there actually might be potential. but like these are just, you don't want, Groot aren't that good on their own. They have like a bunch of strong things in their own attack. Groot, like the ability to bring them back, having film hands and stuff, but like they're fragile and they're kind of there to die. They play objectives, even their own attachments. You don't kill things, you play objectives with them. So why would I care about giving my crew plus 1 AP when their weapons are slightly better las guns?
Oh yeah, I missed that. Yeah,
Like the
Groot or
stratagems for that
Vespid
are not.
only.
No, so the effect for that, let's give me the Tau AP. I'm talking like a stratagem is like plus 1 AP for Groot. Why would I care?
Yeah.
It's Groot. I guess Vespid's a pretty decent gun, so like still. So yeah, like you don't run this with like actually bringing like a diverse list of Groot and Tau and Vespids. If you run this, you bring some Tau and then you send in the hounds. And if you're gonna do that, if you're gonna like run Tau and just like buff their shooting, play Cowion, play Retaliation Card, right?
Right.
So those are both attachments that already have that. They already have buffs for that, and they do it pretty well. I like not Cowion, Monka. I like Monka. I like Retaliation Card, right? Monka, where you send in like a bunch of devilfish full of breachers, and you just show up and you hit someone in their eye. That is funny. I love it. Or like Retaliation Cadre. I think they literally gain AP if they're and strength. So when I go through hoops to get this, when I can just have on my battlefield suit, you just get up close and then get more AP and strength. It's just kind of redundant. It's not the thing you might use this for is redundant, and everything it wants you to do is useless. Period. So yeah, not good. No lucky.
You know, lucky Black Templars.
I think my first reaction when I saw this was like, care, and I moved on. I just didn't want to think about Space Marines that day. I'll think about Space Marines today. All right. Oh my god, it's Gladius again. They keep making Gladius.
Hey, we want something new with Space Marines. Okay, here's the new Gladius. Not new.
Right,
It is new.
Battle round, you can select a litany until the end of the battle round. All infantry and mounted units in your army. You gotta get +2 movement and +1 to advance rolls, +1 to strength in melee, or +5 invul against range attacks. Isn't the base Black Templars attachment our pick one? This is just like a more variable unit of that. All right. You can give enhancements. You can give a unit stealth. Okay. You can get once per battle. You can get fights first for the unit that Spare has. Okay. Make some battle shock. I don't care. Chaplain gets dev wounds on Chaplain's melee only, not the unit, just the Chaplain. 5-up family pain against mortal wounds. You could have and the other detachment, but that would have been your whole thing you took. So, reroll hit rolls at 1 and ignore any weapon skill. Okay. And we're contempt. Yeah. Okay. My opinion is still just like okay. I guess
it's another Space Marine list.
It's another Space Marine attachment that's Gladius.
All right.
All right. World leader. So, I want to give some background to this.
Yeah, I have not
had a detachment in Custodes that's actually just like this. It's better now, but all it did was buff characters, not the units they're in, just the character model. And this is that. Outside of Epic Heroes, so you can't do this to Angron, you can pick a World Leader's character or the champion, aka like the Space Marine Sergeant, in a 8-bound, Exalted 8-bound, Corn Berserker, or Terminator unit. So you are picking 3 models in all of your army to gain these buffs.
Okay, let's move on.
3 models to gain a buff you choose from the Blessings of Corn table that you could have already just gotten by rolling good on the.
Yeah.
It's bad. I don't need to look at the rest of it because why would you run this when you can run the other detachments? I'm pretty sure it's the Blood Angel.
I personally don't care for
Okay,
detachment that only.
correction. It's a slightly weaker version of the Blood Angels one because you only get 1 strength, not 2. But
Ah,
still,
yeah. I'm not really caring
come
for.
on.
Yeah, I personally have come to the decision where I don't really care for detachments if it's just going to focus on characters.
I'm fine with things that give buffs to units that have characters in them or something.
That I don't mind.
The Blood Angels one, if it was more interesting, was fine. Just wasn't that interesting.
All right, last one.
All right.
Space
I
Wolves.
remember
I have
talking a
not
lot about
looked at
this,
this.
even though it's just Spacemen again. So it isn't Gladius, so already plus 10 points.
Yay! At the end of your opponent's charge phase, oh, I did take a look at this a little bit. Each
Yeah.
Adeptus.
So this is the Dreamland one, where it's like, okay, I totally want to get this. I want to get the charge. Are you going to get the charge? Eh, probably not. 3 inches is pretty close. If they're coming up to you, they're asking for Billy. But
Right.
wouldn't it be so funny if I got to charge in on their turn and fight on their and now I get and then kill them, and I get to charge again on my turn. I get double the kills. This is the Dreamland attachment. I don't think it's very good. There's like a little sauce to it, I'm pretty sure. But but the people are gonna love this because the Dreamland of getting to like charge in on their turn with Murderfang and then kill them, and then move up and charge in with Murderfang on your turn and kill them, and then charge in on their turn Murderfang and kill them. Like that is a complete pipe dream, but it's gonna attract someone who's gonna want to do that. It's not like the fluffy one because the Space Wolf attachment's already the fluffiest attachment in the game. Like the
Oh,
base one.
it does say you don't receive any charge bonuses for this for
Yeah,
that
so
though.
you don't get the fights first, but that's fine because if you hit Murderfang, he hits you back for. He just
Oh
gets to attack
god.
extra.
Oh right, Murder Fang.
This is the Murderfang Pipe Dream attachment, and I love it. I
Yeah.
think that's really fun.
Bears unit can declare a charge against one or more units within 6 inches instead of within 3.
Also, Terminators get +1 OC, which is like this is also like a Terminator heavy detachment, which is cool because I like Terminators. I like Space Terminators.
But less dogs. Less puppers.
Yeah, true. Here's the thing though: if you're running dogs, you're just going to Stormlands. You're just gonna play Stormlands in Space Wolves,
Ah, right.
and that's meta. Is also the thing. Like that's the meta thing. So like you want to make something that's not just encouraging the meta thing.
Right.
You want to make
Right.
something that's more fun and more unique instead of just like, yeah, go play this. Go play your roles. Please stop playing it in Stormlands. Please play it in Space Wolves. Just let the meta players do their weird stuff and let casual players have something funny.
Anyways,
I think that this is niche. You might get the charge thing off more than I'm expecting. I might be underestimating 3 inches. But as someone who plays Age of Sigmar, I don't think I am.
Yeah.
Engagement range distance.
Yeah, it might be one of those where it's like it's better than we think, but
I don't think it is, but I think it's fun, and I think there's like people are gonna play it to hit that pipe of like that Disneyland scenario where you get like 1 billion extra charges off and you just kill everyone. Because that's what you want to do in Space Wolves. Like you're here for Vikings that run up and hit you with strong heavy weapon and then kill people. So that's kind of what you're here for. So you know what? I think this is not strength-wise good, but I think it's probably fun-wise good that there's going to be people who play it. It's got like a niche
strength
for
wise,
people who want to
yeah.
play like
Fluff
elite.
wise, yeah.
Like again, if you're like the middle-aged Midwestern dad who you play the other one, you play Champions of Rust because Champions of Rust gives you like the fluffiest attachment in the game. But this one, like if you want to play a tank, like if you want to play an elite list for Space Wolves where you're charging in like a bunch of stuff, that sounds like a really like niche expectation, but
Right.
is like you want to play like big strong Vikings who run up and kill people, and this is just that. So I think this is pretty good for that.
Yeah,
It's
definitely.
good for like the fantasy. I don't think it's like this is not going to show up at comp at all, but I think this is probably like good enough for casual players who are willing to go for that pipe dream.
Right. I do want to add another thing for the Adeptus Sororitas.
Yep.
There are definitely plenty of units that still gain you Miracle Die.
Okay. Yeah, because you also
Yeah, there's
I
more of
believe
involved. Yeah,
what's her
there's
face? Morphin
well,
Vol does
yep,
that.
yep. And if I'm reading her rule correctly, I actually do not need to spend a miracle dice to get that dice because
Let me
it's
read
just
it.
doo-doo-doo.
Sororitas Vol. Where's Vol? There we go.
Yep. Each time this model's unit is selected to shoot or fight, you can discard one miracle die. If you do,
Okay, that is not what they want you to use for that, but that is how it's worded, I think,
yeah.
because it doesn't say additionally.
No, it just says each time an enemy unit is destroyed by this model, you gain one miracle die. So you can
So
easily.
I don't think that's how they want you to use it, but that's how it's worded. So that's how you get to use it. And I think this is like
This is
that's fair enough. Where it's not like the cheese of like, oh yeah, when Imperial Agents Codex first released, you transports inside transports because they forgot to say you couldn't. They forgot to say infantry.
yeah. It's definitely one of those like if I do go to like a tournament or whatever, I will go up to like one of the judges and be like, can I get clarification for this? If it's
Yeah.
just fun games, I'll just talk to the person who's like, hey, how do you want to or how do you want to play this rule? Just like be fair and all that. It's just like
And
because
that's how it
it
should go, really.
yeah. And then there's simulacrums, and you have 3 units that actually do that. Of course, it's a 50-50 chance whether you get that miracle die, but that's still if they are on an objective, roll a dice. If it's a 4 up, you get you get a miracle dice of that value. If it's less, you don't get it. Then there's and then there's also another character, Astrid Thurga and Agatha Dolan. And that's well.
Is that the one where like one of them is actually just an elf?
No, that's that's the Monofuge.
Oh right.
Yep. 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 The Monofuge
Okay,
has
these
Estrel
people.
Stern
I've never
and
seen these models in my life. I was not aware that these people existed until today.
Warhammer is vast, so yeah, I wouldn't blame you. But yeah, Astra Thurga is while the Thurga models in there, the unit gains devastating wounds, and while the Dolan models in there, each time the unit that's leading kills the unit, you gain a miracle dice, and when it dies, you gain D3 miracle dice. And it's not instead of a miracle die; it's you just gain D3 miracle dice if he dies.
Mhm.
So like in the Martyr's Detachment, where you have if a character dies, you can just res them for a stratagem. With a stratagem, you have the potential of getting a 2d3 miracle die off of a Dolan dying.
Ooh.
Eh. So like it still has plenty of potential to actually gain miracle dice, even in just their character model the units themselves.
Mm-hmm. But you do still get significantly less.
Yes, you do still get significantly less, and that's probably for the best.
Mm.
And I'm actually currently trying to work on a list with my newbie brain that works for the Champions of Faith. Anyways,
Yeah. I
that's
made a bio list on the day of the Game Awards. Well, since I had to watch the Game Awards 3 before, dang it.
Uh-oh.
It was a bet. I lost it.
Oh no. I was not expecting. Yeah. I was actually I didn't even hear of Astrobot. I didn't even know that was a game.
I expected it to have the least chances.
Yeah, I was more expecting Metaphor to win.
I was expecting I wasn't expecting Metaphor. I was expecting a Souls like to win. I was expecting Black Sun Wukong or no Black Myth Wukong or Erdtree. Because I thought the Game Awards would suck, and that was my bet. And then Astrobot won, and I lost the bet. So I have
Wow.
to play all Danganronpa live on Twitch. This is not an
Cool.
advertisement.
No, yeah. It was a completely bet, no advertisement. I understand. But hey,
Anyway,
when
I have been talking for about 3 hours straight now, and we've all done all the attachments. So I think I'm gonna.
I'm sorry, what? You cut out.
Anyways, I have been talking for like 3 hours straight now, and we are done all.
Yeah. So, that's the Grotmas, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, final thing though. Final thing. What are your thoughts on the Christmas present we got from GW?
Oh, Fulgrim. Honestly, I'm not like a big Slanesh guy. Just not my thing. But I think it's a really good-looking sculpt at the very least. And I do
Yes.
think it hits like the core identity of what a Slanesh demon should look like for like a demon prince. For what Fulgrim should look like.
Yeah. I'm excited. I definitely tell you that that's going to be the first Primarch I ever build and paint. So this ought to be an interesting delve into Emperor's Children.
I will never paint a Primarch.
You will never paint a Primarch?
There's a non-zero chance they bring back Psyche in 11th edition and then
Bring back
like
who?
Magnus, like Psychic, the Psychic phase.
Oh,
Because there was a Psychic phase in 9th edition. There was not a
right.
Psychic phase in 10th edition.
No.
Because there was not Psychic in 10th edition, and I miss it.
I mean, there's Psychic, just not like...
There's not the Psychic casting ability where you roll dice to see if you do the Psychic.
Right.
The whole Psychic phase stuff is gone. There's the keyboard Psychic that we put on some weapons to pretend Psychic. The keyboard doesn't do anything except get you countered by Sisters of Silence.
Right.
So yeah, no, it's not. Psychic is effectively dead.
At least this edition.
Psychic keyword. So I made back when Dark Angels didn't have like their codex yet. I took like a random named character from their index, put Psyker in its keywords, and put Psychic at the end of one of his weapons, and that was exactly how a librarian is written. Because that that was mechanically identical to how he would have been if he was actually a Psyker in law.
Wow. Okay.
Because that's all it is. You just put the keywords on there, and the keywords don't do anything. It just says they're Psychic.
Maybe in 11th, maybe they'll bring it back. Maybe.
I hear they might bring back like granular like weapon costs and stuff for you pay for war gear.
Really?
Yeah, because it's been such a mess this edition. Like normally you just run the best thing in this edition, right? Like while Tau still had cyclic ion cannons on battle, there was no reason not to run them aside from cyclic ion cannons.
Huh.
So everyone just ran 3 cyclic ion cannons and everything, and battle suits price as hell. Because all you did was run like crisis suits with 5 cyclic ion cannons. It made to balance the points around that, and it made everything else unplayable because you had to balance your cyclic ion cannons.
That might be better.
Or like what's it called? Gene Star cults, the acolytes. They had both auto pistols and hand flamers as options, but hand flamers are literally in every single way objectively better. There is not a single thing that an auto pistol does better than a hand. They are the same range, but a hand flamer is better. It is the same strength. It hits more times and doesn't have to hit roll. That's it. Yeah. So they literally had to split the acolytes into 2 different units in the codex, where one of them has hand flamers and one of them has auto. This isn't even a unit that shoots that much. They're a melee unit. We had to split the points because there was literally no reason to run.
Yeah. Yeah, 11th's going to be interesting to see. And I know...
I'm excited for them to fix the game. They were definitely not going to make changes I dislike in this edition. Smile. Anyways, I'm going to dip now. My throat's getting kind of sore from talking so much.
Alright. Thanks. Thank you, Mouth, for hanging out.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. We shall get a game in at some point when eventually.
Soon, team.
Yeah, soon. And I wish to try that Champions of Faith detachment to see if I can actually come up with something. But thank you once again.
Have a good one.
You as well. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was our Grotmas Detachment overview. Not too in-depth, except for like a few of them, as you noticed, as you've heard. But it was still knowledgeable one. I will admit, like a lot of the conversations did kind of go over my head because I'm still new, and it's a lot of information to process. But still, a very big knowledge, very big learning curve. Learning a lot about the stuff, a lot of detachments, a lot of their weaknesses, and some of the nuances, and some detachments in here, great. A lot of others, not so much, and others, kind of a bit of fluff. But yeah. Anyways, y'all, that's gonna have to also be it for tonight. I am ending early, a lot earlier than I normally would, but I do want to try and get some sleep because I do want to make sure I start getting my schedule back together, sleep schedule wise, because it's been getting a mess, and I do need to take care of some things. Like I completely forgot that I put laundry in the wash. Well, time to finish that. So anyways, y'all, thank you for watching. I hope this was a very instructive stream for y'all, as it was for me. Very instructive, and hopefully I remember it all, because I do tend to have the knack to forgetting a lot of things. But hopefully that doesn't happen. So anyways, thank you all for watching. Hope you had yourselves a fantastic time, and as always, stay active, stay connected. Oh, I will be off tomorrow, and then we'll be back on Monday. Next week is going to be a little bit weird. I will be streaming Monday. We will be doing Persona 5. And then I'm off Tuesday because I will not be able to go to the Plasma Donation Center on Wednesday, just like this week, unfortunately, because reasons I couldn't actually go twice like I normally could. So next week I want to try and get there twice. So Tuesday I'll be going back up there. And then Wednesday for New Year's, I should be building an emulator. Yay! I should be building another tank, finally. And we're going to try and build that all the way through. Try to is the key word. I will be off work on Wednesday, so I could actually be streaming a lot earlier, just so we can get it done. So possibly 6 o'clock stream. We'll see. We'll see how things go. Other than that, I don't have much else to talk about. And then after that, we're essentially getting back into our normal thing. Wednesday, Thursday, or Thursday, Friday, we will be painting up the Gene Stealers. I'm happy with my progress right now. I am happy. Every time, though, I finish a model. As a matter of fact, every time I actually finish something, like my table, when I finish that, every time I'm always just looking at it going, I did some good work on that thing, and then just stare at it for like 2 minutes, and then have to go back to myself, go, wait, hold on, I need it. I'm doing something. Gotta go. So like every morning, I'd always, when I wake up, I just, before I even go start making my coffee and eat my breakfast, I come into my office, look at my models that I just painted the day before or the day before that, and be like, I did good. What could I have done better? I'm just admiring my work. A bit vain, but hey. Anyways, that is all I have for now. So thank you all for watching. Hope you had yourselves a fantastic time, and we will be back on Monday for some Persona 5. So as always, chat, stay active, stay connected, and I hope to see you all next time. This is Zircon, signing out. Bye, y'all.